Each office is independently owned and operated.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros, trust the pros.
Let the Rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 31st. Your top story, the president frustrated with allies on Iran in the war.
I'm Jessica Ty. Another teen takeover in Milwaukee County.
Chance of storms today, falling temperatures. We're down to 42 right now in Milwaukee. It is dry. Some areas to the south, near the state line, getting hit pretty good. Some pop-up storms to the north. That's going to be the case for a few hours yet today. Mostly cloudy tonight at a low of 33. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, President Trump ramping up his comments against allies when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz.
In a post on social media, President Trump said allies who have been unwilling to help the U.S. war against Iran should, quote, go get your own oil. The president also wrote countries that refuse to, quote, get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage to go to the Strait and just take it, unquote. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk is asking for his upcoming preliminary hearing to be delayed.
Tyler Robinson's defense attorneys claim they believe from a summary report and without seeing a full report that the ATF was unable to definitively link a bullet fragment recovered at the autopsy of Charlie Kirk to the rifle allegedly used by Robinson. Defense attorneys say they need more time now to review material and bullet analysis that they say could help in Robinson's defense. They're asking for a 6-month delay of the preliminary hearing. Robinson is charged with murder. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Closer to home, another teen takeover in the Milwaukee area.
Moody Park is going to be about 23rd an hour for a large crowd that's forming regarding that park takeover.
Scanner audio from Broadcastify. Police responding to multiple fights between dozens of teenagers and reports of gunfire at the park Monday evening. It comes after at least a dozen were arrested during a teen takeover at Bayshore Mall over the weekend. In a video on social media, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley calls out the behavior.
I want to urge all the parents to stay engaged in your child's life. I mean, look at their social media. Know where they are going, who they're with.
Police say multiple social media posts prompted both takeovers.
Some Republican lawmakers are pushing to eliminate emissions testing for cars in the Badger State.
Congressman and gubernatorial candidate Tom Tiffany says he plans to work with the EPA to secure a waiver that would end Wisconsin's emissions testing requirement. State Representative Bob Donovan argues the program is outdated since today's vehicles are cleaner and more efficient. They also say it puts a financial burden on low-income residents. Emissions testing is required in 7 counties in the southeastern part of the state. Drivers in those areas have to complete mandatory emissions tests every 2 years to renew their registration. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson delivers harsh criticism of the Trump administration in his State of the City address.
Mayor Johnson slammed the president's immigration policy.
Immigrants make Milwaukee stronger.
And refusal to help Wisconsin pay for infrastructure repairs after historic flooding.
It was illogical and neglectful that the president didn't allow for public assistance to local governments.
But Johnson ended with a positive note on local connections.
I can confidently say the relationship between Milwaukee City government and Milwaukee Public Schools is stronger than at any time in decades.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Some big gains today. The Dow is up nearly 1,000 points at 46,180. Big day for the NASDAQ as well, up nearly 730 points at 21,553. S&P up about 162 points, back over the 6,500 mark at 6,506. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Brandon Woodruff makes his season debut tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Spring is quickly approaching, and it's the perfect time for you to get an awning installed so it's ready once the temps warm up. Comfort Awnings is a local, family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Receive a free motor with the purchase of any retractable awning or screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brandon Woodruff makes his season debut tonight as the Brewers take on the Rays in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Woodruff had shoulder surgery in 2023, missed all of 2024, and made just 12 starts last season.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not like, they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's not even it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million contract, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. 21-year-old Pratt played most of last season at AA. He's currently the Brewers' number 2 rated prospect. And the Bucks return to the home floor tonight against the Mavericks. You can hear the game on 94.5 ESPN. Women's Final Four in college basketball features UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, and Texas.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, and we do have some issues on 4194 in Milwaukee County in both directions, north and south. So let me start here. This is the most significant one. 4194 south, very close to the ramp from Ryan Road. That's always a busy spot. The right shoulder is blocked right now due to a vehicle fire. I do see fire trucks at the scene, some big trucks out there, emergency responders as well. Everybody has their lights on, and so cars are moving slowly around that. I will say, due to the amount of traffic that's out there right now and just how many lanes we have open, there's no construction in that area, so we are moving along pretty well, but heads up for that. Then 4194 north, we've got 2 disabled vehicles not too far from each other. One on the ramp from Elm Road to 4194 north. The other, 4194 north just a little bit beyond Elm Road. Right shoulder is blocked because of that. So you got two disabled vehicles very close to each other, and then you also have that car fire as well. As I take a peek as to what's happening in our construction zone around American Family Field, it looks like we are seeing delays, but I've definitely seen worse. It is more significant, 94 westbound, headed out of the city around American Family Field. Just a little bit of a slowdown after American Family Field, headed into the city.
Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 12:45 for Dodge County, Fond du Lac, and Walworth. Those are spread about pretty evenly here. Walworth, Dodge County, Fond du Lac, 12:45, that thunderstorm warning is in effect. Parts of our listening area not seeing any rain right now. Parts, it's coming down pretty good. Milwaukee west of Madison looks pretty dry right now, but north, Sheboygan, Oshkosh, Manitowoc, you're in it, and south of the state line, anywhere from Janesville east to Kenosha and south, also getting wet. Mostly cloudy throughout the day. Temperatures falling from our high of 65 from earlier today. It's currently 42 in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
We'll keep you updated on watches and warnings throughout the day, but Walworth, Dodge, and Fond du Lac aren't exactly right on top of one another, so there's quite a separation here with this rain. Milwaukee west to Madison, pretty clear, not really seeing anything, maybe just a little pop-up storm, but anything to the north and to the south of that, you're likely getting wet. So we'll keep you updated throughout the day here on WTMJ.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A jury is now seated and witnesses are testifying in the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a Milwaukee police officer. 9 men and 5 women will decide the fate of Tremaine Jones. That's 12 jurors and 2 alternates. The 23-year-old is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and first-degree attempted homicide, among other charges, in the shooting incident last June. Officer Kendall Corder and Officer Christopher McCrae were responding to a domestic violence call on the city's north side when they were ambushed. Investigators say Jones jumped from behind a bush in the dark and fired a gun at the officers. The prosecution ended its opening statement today on this note.
Officer Corder and Officer McCrae were sent there because people called for help, and they're the police. The defendant was there with a short-barreled rifle because he was there for a fight between girls, and he demanded people come outside or he was going to shoot. And Officer Corder died because of that.
In this is how the defense sees the case.
The one thing that makes this tragedy worse is if we don't have the right person. And it's defense's position here. The state doesn't have the right person.
Officer Corder died at a hospital 3 days later. Officer McCrae survived his injuries. Jones has pleaded not guilty. He faces life in prison if convicted. The trial is expected to go through the end of the week, but could creep into next week.
Tiger Woods was looking down at his phone and changing the radio station before his rollover crash last week in Florida, according to a probable cause affidavit. Woods arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence on Friday of last week after his Land Rover clipped a truck, rolled onto its side near his home on Jupiter Island. Woods charged with DUI, refusing a lawful test, and property damage. He passed a breathalyzer test but refused to take a urinalysis. The affidavit also notes that 2 hydrocodone pills were found in Woods' pocket and that he admitted to taking medication during the day. A specific court date has not been finalized. Back in 2017, Woods was arrested for driving under the influence after being found asleep at the wheel. He later pleaded guilty to reckless driving. And in February of 2021, Woods suffered severe leg injuries in a single-car rollover crash in Los Angeles. This comes about a week and a half before the Masters, and Woods didn't commit to playing, but had teased a little on social media that people were starting to raise eyebrows, wondering, will he be back? He's coming back from an Achilles injury. This certainly is a step in the wrong direction for Woods. A specific court date has not been finalized just yet.
As soon as this crash happened, I think a lot of people said, again? That was an immediate reaction. The Pentagon says the next few days of the war in Iran will be pivotal. That's the word from the Pentagon. It is also insisting that U.S. objectives are being met. Today, General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the U.S. is targeting not just military sites, but nuclear research sites, warehouses, and factories.
We continue to deliver precision strikes against key manufacturing nodes, component storage sites, research facilities deep within Iranian territory. And over the past 30 days, we've struck more than 11,000 targets.
While the White House continues to insist the 4 to 6 week timeline for the war remains, today Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth would not give a timeline. He also didn't offer any specifics about more U.S. service members getting deployed to the region.
More on the situation in Iran with CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. She's going to join us coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's 12:14.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. tricountycontractingwi.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Walworth, Dodge, and Fond du Lac County until 12:45. Dry right now in Milwaukee, in fact, all the way west of Madison. Not seeing much in terms of rain, but temperature is definitely on the cool side. Just 42 degrees right now in Milwaukee. Tomorrow's side, just 40 degrees. Might see a little wintry mix falling as well. It's 12:17. Well, the war in Iran is in its fifth week. Thousands of troops arriving or on their way to the region to bolster U.S. forces. Meanwhile, Iran is continuing its strikes on Israel. Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes of CBS joining us on the line from the nation's capital. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, good to be with you.
Let's go into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's comments from earlier today, suggesting that the upcoming days will be pivotal. That word really stands out to me in this ongoing conflict with Iran. Nancy, what do you believe are the specific milestones here the administration is looking for in the next 48 to 72 hours?
Well, one of the things that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, said when he was with Hegseth this morning was that the U.S. military has now been able to start flying B-52 bomber missions over land. And the reason that that is a significant milestone is because what that indicates is that the U.S. military basically now has free range to fly over Iranian territory because Iran's air defenses have been degraded. So that enables them to focus on targets that were perhaps more difficult to hit before. The other thing that Secretary Hegseth said is that while U.S. capabilities are growing, Iranian capabilities to retaliate are shrinking. He also indicated that the U.S. is now working to get the Strait of Hormuz opened, but he didn't give many, if any, details about how exactly that's going to work.
Nancy, speaking of the strait, in a post on social media today, President Trump called on other countries, such as the United Kingdom, to, quote, go get your own oil. What are his suggestions here?
He's basically telling them, or at least he did in that Truth Social post, we're not going to be responsible. The U.S. is not going to deal with the fact that there is a dangerous situation in the Gulf. If there are countries that need oil from the Strait more badly than the U.S. does, that they need to go there and do it themselves, basically expressing some of his anger that he didn't feel like U.S. allies were there for the U.S. in the beginning of this war. Our Weijia Jiang actually spoke with him on the phone after that and asked him about that threat. Is he really planning to pull U.S. military forces out of the strait before this has been resolved? And he kind of softened the threat in that conversation. But he did still say that if countries are having a hard time getting oil, they need to come and take it. He even insisted that there's no real threat there anymore because Iran has been decimated by the U.S. military. We know, however, that is not the case, and that most countries around the world still believe that there's a very significant threat from Iran in the Strait of Hormuz.
Nancy, at the start of this, the president suggested maybe a 4 to 6 week operation in Iran. Meanwhile, you've got thousands of troops, many of whom are from Wisconsin, traveling overseas to bolster forces in what could become a ground attack, not just an aerial assault. Is the administration still keen on that 4 to 6 week time frame, or getting pretty close to that?
Yeah, the president and his White House press secretary and the Secretary of Defense continue to say that they are on schedule, if not ahead of schedule. And that schedule always was 4 to 6 weeks. But at the same time, as you point out, there are still troops heading to the region. The president is still musing about the possibility of taking over Karg Island, which is such a strategic point for the Iranians when it comes to getting oil out of the Persian Gulf. He has even talked about the fact that he'd like to take Iran's oil. How that would work, what that would mean for the U.S. military operation is also very unclear. So we know that he's been presented with a range of options for ways that he could wrap up this war. And so the question is whether some of these things that he has openly mused about are saber rattling, or whether he's really serious about sending in ground troops to actually do the things that he said he might want to do.
A question a lot of people have right now is there a clear exit strategy from U.S. military involvement? Like, under what conditions would the U.S. stop fighting?
Well, that's really interesting as well, because, you remember at the start of this war, the White House laid out very clear objectives. And one of those objectives was to prevent the Iranians from being able to redevelop their nuclear program. And so Weijia, when she spoke to President Trump today, asked him if he really can declare total victory in this war without going in to try to get Iran's stores of enriched uranium that we know are buried underground. Interestingly, he said he doesn't even think about it, and that he believes now that the uranium is buried so deeply that it's going to be hard for anybody, including the Iranians, to get their hands on it. What we do know is that it would require ground operations, and pretty significant ground operations that would not be quick, in order to go in and recover that material from nuclear sites that were very heavily bombed by the U.S. last year. And that may be one of the reasons that President Trump now appears to be indicating that he's shying away from that, because it would not only would it take potentially weeks, but it would also put U.S. troops in a very precarious situation where they could be vulnerable to attacks from the Iranians.
The White House today responding to the record spike in gas prices as well, Nancy. What is being said?
Well, the president publicly is saying, that those gas prices are going to come plummeting right down once we leave and once the war is over. And that's publicly what we've heard from the White House press secretary as well. But we do know, based on our reporting, that behind the scenes there is concern about high gas prices. There is a worry about how long it's going to take for those prices to come back down, especially if the situation in the Strait of Hormuz is not resolved, and especially in a midterm election year where Americans tend to vote with their pocketbooks.
Nancy, you're the chief White House correspondent for CBS. I know you have a lot of sources, and when you talk about some of that fear behind the scenes, I'm just curious, amongst your sources as well, if they're concerned about the timeline and the fact that we do end up being successful in the end. I know people are talking about the markets right now and the gas prices because those are immediate impacts, but some of those unknowns, I'm just wondering if on the Republican side, people have a lot of faith in the president and what he's doing, or if some of those people are starting to get concerned as well.
You know, I think some of the concerns stem from the fact that there's been so much mixed messaging just from the president himself on his goals, on his requirements for pulling out of Iran, and sometimes those claims change either day to day or even within the same day. For example, the president just claimed in our interview with him this morning that regime change has happened, and that's one of the achievements of this U.S. military campaign is that he said there are different people in charge now than there were before in Iran, people nobody have ever, and people no one has ever heard of before. You know, the reality is I think most Middle East experts would argue that it is actually the same regime in charge. Yes, the people may have changed, but they are all from the same oppressive regime that the president has said he wanted to change. So it's claims like that cause a bit of concern. It's claims like, you know, the fact that negotiations are underway and going well, which sometimes the president says, that are then disputed by the Iranians. And so people don't really have a good sense of whether these negotiations are really taking place and how long they would take, who is negotiating with who. You know, questions about the end game are really pervasive here in Washington.
CBS Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cortez joining us from the nation's capital. We appreciate it, Nancy. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
You got it.
1225 here on WTMJ. Call it 1226. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Walworth County, Fond du Lac County, and Dodge County until 1245. News coming up.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. Greg Matzik reminding you got a chance yet today to cash in on a wonderful deal. Here, stock up and save with Palermo's. Connie's Thin Crust Pizza, $4.99. That Chicago pizzeria-style taste, crispy crust, bubbly cheese, incredible flavor at Sendik's. Right now, $4.99 through April 1st. Still another day and a half or so to take advantage of all the great deals going on. When it's Palermo's, you know it's going to be delicious. And they got a slice for every appetite. If thin crust isn't your jam, no problem. Neighborhood Pizzeria Pizza offers that more Neapolitan style. Screamin' Sicilian is unbelievable. They've got several varieties. Love the Screamin' Sicilian. Mambo Italiano, a personal favorite. When you make it Palermo's, you're going to make it delicious. 60 years of making the best frozen pizza you will find. And made right here in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Debbie Lazaga here, and I'm so happy with what has been going on with the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've held my hand through everything, and I'm already down over 20 pounds. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's about a pound per day. And for limited time, get $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
If you're going to put some of your hard-earned profits into advertising, you better do it right. Because we know you don't want to waste a dime. If you want ad success, it's not just knowing what to say, it's knowing how to say it. Telling isn't selling, and a message that doesn't sell will waste your money. With thousands of ads of experience, we know what to say and how to say it to get you better results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com's Our Work page to listen and see why we're the guys smart advertisers call to make their ad dollars work harder. We found that whatever kind of ad you decide to run, if it doesn't sell, it's a bad ad. One thing we're pretty good at is digging deep to find what truly sets our clients apart from their competition. And we're always surprised at what we find and have often asked, well, why haven't you been telling the public that? There are things about your business that you aren't telling enough people, and certainly not often enough. We'll fix that. Go to Anderson-Smith.com and hit the Contact Us button, because we help small business advertisers get better results.
Hey, take your family to the Good Friday Fish Fry and the magnificent Easter Sunday brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Free for the Easter brunch. Google, call, reserve at the Fox and Hounds today.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, March 31st. Your top story, the trial underway for an accused police killer.
I'm Jessica Ty. Investors are trying to stay optimistic.
Fleet Farm storm team alert, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:45 for Kenosha, Walworth counties, also included Fond du Lac and Dodge. Rain not really doing much of anything between Milwaukee and Madison. It's currently 42 degrees in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The war with Iran grinding into a fifth week. The Pentagon says it's stepping up military targets on Iran's nuclear and military sites and ammunition depots. Israel, meantime, continues to target Hezbollah in Lebanon, with Israel's defense minister warning residents in southern Lebanon to evacuate as IDF forces say they plan to create a security buffer. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell.
This isn't just a short-term, limited ground operation by the Israeli Defense Forces. This is far larger in its scale, and it seems to be mirroring, as Defense Minister Katz said, some of the operations that took place in Gaza. They will be demolishing homes. They'll be leveling the ground near the border.
The partial government shutdown continuing, with TSA workers starting to return to work at airports after receiving their first paycheck in more than a month. NASA says all systems are a go for preparation of its historic Artemis II moon mission, now just 1 day away. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Testimony underway in the trial of Tremaine Jones, the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder. Both sides presenting their opening statements today. Assistant District Attorney Grant Hubner.
Officer Corder and Officer McCrae were sent there because people called for help, and they're the police. The defendant was there with a short-barreled rifle because he was there for a fight between girls, and he demanded people come outside or he was going to shoot. And Officer Corder died because of that.
Defense attorney Abigail Ruckteschel called Officer Corder's death a tragedy, and that it's the position of the defense that the state does not have the right person. Jones faces 4 felony charges in connection to the shooting last summer. If convicted, he could face life in prison.
The man accused of stealing an ambulance while drunk and naked is found competent to stand trial.
37-year-old Benjamin Feltz of Stevens Point faces 4 felony charges, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety, after EMS workers in Wisconsin Rapids reported their ambulance stolen with a patient in the back on February 17th. Court documents showed that Feltz admitted to drinking about half a bottle of Fabuloso floor cleaner before stealing the ambulance and leading police on a high-speed chase. Feltz was removed from the ambulance completely naked. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Kenosha police make an arrest in a decades-old homicide cold case.
The case is from 1977, when Ralph Ambrose Giannoli was found dead from blunt force trauma in his Kenosha home. Investigators say they exhausted all leads at the time. After reopening the case 5 years ago, detectives re-examined evidence using new techniques and identified new suspects. They interviewed 68-year-old James Terry Fowler and found probable cause for his arrest. On Monday, he was taken into custody in Memphis, Tennessee on homicide charges. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Investors are trying to stay optimistic, but the war in Iran is still causing a lot of uncertainty. Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano.
You and I having a conversation a couple of months ago and said, well, if this moves from a geopolitical issue to an economic issue, the market is going to react. And if you remember, it wasn't reacting. It was taking it in stride. And now we are entering the 5th week of this conflict, and markets are starting to worry.
The S&P 500 is down about 9% since the war began.
A brush fire destroys a barn and nearly destroys a home in Fort Atkinson. The fire started on Lower Hebron Road Sunday afternoon just before 4 o'clock. It quickly spread to a barn and garage attached to the home. No residents were injured, including a dog that crews rescued from the home. One firefighter was taken to the hospital and released Sunday night. Fort Atkinson Fire says the fire appears to be accidental.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining wall, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. During our spring sales event, get 10% off any home painting project, $2,500 or more. When you schedule before May 15th at participating locations, get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Time for WTMJ's sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brandon Woodruff makes his season debut tonight as the Brewers take on the Rays in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Woodruff had shoulder surgery in 2023. He missed all of 2024 and made just 12 starts in 2025.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not like, they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's not even it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million contract, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. 21-year-old Pratt played most of last season at Double-A. He's currently the Brewers' number 2 rated prospect. And the Bucks return to the home floor tonight against the Mavericks. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN. Tip-off set for just after 7 o'clock.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I am still monitoring a car fire that we have in Milwaukee County. This one is 4194 South, very close to the ramp from Ryan Road. It's a busy spot. There is a decent amount of traffic moving through, but it's off enough to the right-hand side that the traffic is still moving okay. So not seeing any delays, just a little tapping on the brakes as people go by. Numerous emergency responders are out there. I don't see any flames, no smoke or anything, so they do have a handle on that at this point. Also, a handful of disabled vehicles out in the system, most of them not causing any problems, but we do have this one on the ramp from 28th Street to I-94 West. The ramp is actually closed right now because of that broken down vehicle. And that is causing extra delays on 94 westbound around the ballpark inner construction zone. Also, right around the zoo, I-94 West, very close to the ramp from Highway 100. At some point here, expect lane closures because there is some debris out in the middle of the road, and they're going to need to close it. In fact, actually, I see emergency responder. Oh, looks like he just showed up. I have a feeling he just picked something up because he had his lights on, and then he moved from the left lane over to the right lane quickly, and he turned those lights off. So it's possible that debris is out of there. But I'll let you know if that changes.
Fleet Farm Storm Team Alert. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 12:45 for Kenosha, Walworth, Fond du Lac, and Dodge counties. We'll see if any other counties get added to this list, as these are set to expire in about 5 minutes. Some pretty good pops of rain to the north of our Milwaukee studios, and then again to the south, spanning west to Janesville. Between Milwaukee and Madison, pretty clear right now, pretty dry, so definitely a rain event for some and certainly not for others. It's 42 degrees. Tomorrow's high just 40. At home, the roof likely to be closed tonight. It was open for a while yesterday. Beautiful day as the Brewers drop one to the Rays. Their first loss of the season. Milwaukee now 3-1 to begin the season. We go all things Brewers with Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey at 12:40-ish every Tuesday during the season. Hi, Adam.
Hello, guys.
Before we get to Brandon Woodruff and the start, can we first start with the news that's not yet been made official by the Milwaukee Brewers? Are we cool to report on this and discuss the Cooper Pratt deal?
Coop.
8 years, $50.75 million, according to Bob Nightingale. He was the first to report it. For a guy, Cooper Pratt, 21 years old, who played at Double-A last year. He has not sniffed the major leagues yet in his career.
This is Jackson Chourio Part 2. If you think about Jackson Chourio's deal, it was 8 years plus 2 club options. And, you know, that was for $80+ million. Cooper Pratt is a couple years older than Jackson Chourio was at that time, which is crazy. But it's a similar type, you know, commitment. And look, it's a trade-off for both sides. It's the team, obviously, $50.75 million is no chump change for a player who's not stepped foot in the big leagues and really has, you know, a couple of days in AAA at this point. From the player's point of view, it's the risk of leaving a whole lot of millions on the table if he turns out to be, you know, a great player like Jackson Chourio is looking so far. And that's the trade-off. You get security in exchange for potential future earnings. So I know the agents don't always love these deals. Freddie Peralta's agent did not like when he signed with the Brewers way back when to a long-term deal that turned out to be an absolute steal for the Brewers for all those years. But look, the player gets to decide what he wants to do, and Cooper Pratt gets $50.75 million. What would you do with $51 million when you were 21 years old?
That's a lot of snacks. I could buy a lot of snacks.
Put some in the bank,
That's a
Coop.
nice
Put
car.
some in the bank. So what does this ultimately...
He's a really, really sharp kid, and it wouldn't surprise me if he puts a lot of it in the bank. I heard a cool thing just on the side talking to some of the coaches yesterday. that he's one of those glue guys in the clubhouse. And look, it's hard. He's at 2 big league camps, but he's 21 years old. He had the very corner locker right in the walkway towards the weight room and the training facilities. So he was kind of tucked in the corner of the clubhouse. And when you're not on the 40-man roster, you're sort of like kind of seen and not heard often. But I heard that he's one of the glue guys and that he was trying to learn Spanish, for example, so he could better communicate with some of the young Latin American players who are still working on their English. So that's like a little thing. It doesn't mean he's going to be an all-star baseball player, but it's the kind of thing that the Brewers really love in the guys that they want to commit to. So I thought that was a neat little tidbit I heard yesterday.
So you mentioned Jackson Churio's deal, and now we've got another one. I know it's 2, but maybe it's a trend. What does it ultimately say about the Brewers and their thoughts? I mean, it seems like they're paying talent before they even truly know what's going to happen, though they're hoping, they're thinking, they're believing that this guy can be big.
Yeah, it's searching for that new way of doing things, because you're not going to be the team that signs, say a Kyle Tucker, the outfielder for the Cubs. He went to the Dodgers on this kind of short-term, huge dollar deal he's going to make. Greg, you'll have to do a quick Google to find his annual salary, $50 million a year or something like that. The Brewers are putting, the trust in these young prospects that they see as part of the future early on when they come at a price that if they turn out to be the type of player the Brewers believe they will be, that's a price you could not get them at 5 years from now. So, look, Bryce Turang is a good example. Surely there were talks between the Brewers and Bryce Turang when it became clear what sort of a defensive player he was and the bat started to come around. But that hasn't come to fruition. Now Bryce Turang is at the point where he's starting at second base in the World Baseball Classic and is kind of a bona fide dude. And as he, pushes towards through his arbitration years and towards free agency, the odds of the Brewers being able to strike a long-term deal with Bryce Turang are getting very, very slim. So, if you're a team like Milwaukee in one of the smaller markets, the economics are what they are in baseball right now, you have to find different kind of ways to lock up talent. And that means taking a risk on guys early in their career. And there's certainly risk in that. If Cooper Pratt turns out not to hit, and he's looks like a really nice player, does all great defender. That is major league ready right now. But if he doesn't develop with the bat, you've put $50 million in an asset that's not going to pay off. So there's risk involved for both sides for sure. But from the Brewers' point of view, this is what they need to do to compete in a small market and lock up some of these young, talented players.
They pay players before they become the big thing. Meanwhile, the Dodgers pay for the big thing. Kyle Tucker's contract, 4 years, $240 million for a guy who was benched during the NLDS last year as the Cubs lost to the Brewers. So
and let me just throw in there, if someone wants to do a fun exercise, compare Jackson Churio numbers and Kyle Tucker numbers. Now, Kyle Tucker's a really great player, and this is not to take anything away, but it shows you sort of kind of a different way to lock up a talented player. And the other thing for Cooper Pratt is this starts the clock moving. He'll go on the 40-man roster, and it kind of accelerates his path to the big leagues. That's what it did for Jackson Churio, and that's what it could do for Cooper Pratt.
Okay, Adam, I'm seeing these pictures on social media. The new alternate uniforms, are these legit? Because if so, I think it's really interesting. You hear people say Wisco for Wisconsin, but, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. We also just recently heard all the talk about this is the state's team. So if this ends up being those City Connect jerseys, that could be interesting. It's kind of a turn from tradition. What do you know?
Yeah, look, we had this debate in the press box yesterday because there are people that have lived in Wisconsin for a long time and haven't heard Wisco. I definitely have heard Wisco. I think I've used Wisco here and there.
Oh, have you?
I've certainly walked down State Street and seen people in those red Wisco or Scotty sweatshirts. Those are kind of the two that I remember seeing when I'm in Madison. So, these leaks are usually legit. And if that is what the Brewers are doing, a nod to the state, it is different. And that's the point of these City Connects. And look, when you look on social media, everybody hates these. When you look on social media, whenever any alternate jersey uniform is released, everybody hates them.
There always debate.
They're meant to shock.
I think the colors are great. Like they've got this the bright orange on the blue, and it's not that baby blue before. I mean, they're sharp looking, but the Wisco, to your point, I've heard it many times. I've never personally said it myself.
Yeah, maybe I've said it once or twice to like a coworker at Wisco, or got on him a thing from the airport, one of those stands where sometimes I'll get some koozies if I'm going to cover a playoff series, and I'll bring koozies for all my coworkers. So if we go out for a post-game beverage, everybody can have a Wisco koozie or something like that. The other thing I was going to say about these is we're seeing the front of the jersey, and what you know with City Connects is there's always other little surprises like on the sleeves. We haven't seen the caps. So there's more, I'm guessing, when these things get released. And I don't know exactly when they get released, but the timing is right on this leak because it's every 3 years that the deal with Nike allows teams to debut a new alternate jersey. So I don't think the old ones, I don't know what happens with the old ones. If they go completely away, you can still get it in the team store because those Brew Crew baby blues were incredibly popular. And when you travel on the road, I think fans who've been at road games will attest to this. That's like as common as any Brewers jersey that you see when they're on the road. Those City Connects the original City Connects from 2022 turned out to be really popular.
Well, don't imagine Brandon Woodruff will be wearing the City Connect tonight, but he will be on the mound making his season debut. Woody avoiding an IL stint here, going against the Rays tonight as their tour against American League teams continues here to start the season. Adam McCalvey will be at the game tonight. He covers the Brewers for Brewers.com. Check out his work. Always incredible work done by Adam. We talk to him every Tuesday here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Appreciate it, Adam. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
All right. Bye, guys.
He's a bona fide dude.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm really hoping for good things for Woodruff tonight, too. I mean, he had that shoulder surgery in 23, missed all of 2024, missed half of last year, had 12 starts. Then he was shut down right before the postseason. There was thought he'd start on the injured list this year. He wanted to avoid it. He said he felt healthy enough. He knows he doesn't have the same fastball. We'll see. I am hopeful for him. He is one of the true good guys in that Brewers clubhouse.
Fingers crossed.
Brewers baseball tonight at 6:05.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
Well, if you're headed to the game tonight and you don't want to hassle with parking and driving there, let Potawatomi Sportsbook and their shuttle take you. Visit the Sportsbook, park, get comfortable, maybe make a wager, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, then get a wristband. You can pop on the shuttle heading off to American Family Field. With that wristband, you are good to go, and it'll leave about an hour before game time. First come, first served. On the way back, no problem. It'll bring you right back to Potawatomi. Shuttle pickups and drop-offs will be at the Annex next to Potawatomi Sportsbook. An hour before game time, it departs. Return shuttles begin in the top of the 7th inning and run nonstop for about an hour after the game. Become a legend at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Greg and Jessica with you till 3 o'clock this afternoon. Keeping our eye on the weather here. So the watches and warnings have expired, but I do have a notice here from the National Weather Service suggesting that strong thunderstorms will impact northeastern Walworth County, northwestern Racine County, and southern Waukesha counties. That's through about 1:15 this afternoon. I had mentioned before we talked to Adam that it looked pretty clear from Milwaukee back to Madison. That is no longer the case. A pretty strong line of storms right now affecting Dane County, clipping into the northwestern portion of Jefferson County. So you've got like a little pocket where Milwaukee County and most of Waukesha County is in this sort of dry window, but things out in Jefferson are moving this directions. Things to the south in Racine and Kenosha should be moving over the lake over the next hour or so. And I wouldn't expect to see too much in terms of warnings for Milwaukee County, but would not be surprised if we've got a thunderstorm warning for Waukesha County before too long.
Very active weather pattern right now, and really for the next couple of days here. It also started last night. I mean, the winds and the yo-yo in the temperatures was pretty wild. In fact, I think downtown the temperatures dropped significantly, and then they went back up. It's that time of the year here in Wisconsin.
A lot of reports of lightning up in the West Bend area, up through Sheboygan, even up toward Manitowoc. So pretty good line of storms. It's kind of broken. There are parts of our listening audience saying, what are you talking about? Looks pretty nice outside. And other parts saying, wow, it's coming down heavy. So stay tuned here. Things will move rather quickly. Those watches and warnings have expired, but a new round might be coming before too long. It's 12:55 news coming up next.
At Blaine's, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need for spring at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $30 off KT Auto Darkening welding helmets, now $69.99. Save $150 on the Hobart Multi-Process Welder. Plus, new at Blaine's, shop Purina Livestock Feed. Science-backed nutrition to help animals stay healthy and productive. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hey, Greg Matzik here for Siding Unlimited. They did it again. Best in the United States. Amazing work by Siding Unlimited year in and year out. Recognized recently by our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Pella recognized Siding Unlimited as a Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year for the 5th time. That is a national award. Pella only awards it to the best of the best, and that's Siding Unlimited here in Wisconsin, ready to go to work for you. Top-notch installation crews. I can attest to it. They've done a number of projects for us over the years, and they never have to come back. They get it done right the first time. It's Siding Unlimited. Doors, roofing, siding, windows, you name it. Ask how they can expand your outdoor living space with a patio, a deck, complete with a pergola, gas fire pit, you name it. If you can dream it, they can do it. Check out sidingunlimited.com.
The second you hear this,
fly ball left center.
You know exactly who it is.
Strong is on the move. He's running out of room. It's gone!
Brewers play-by-play man, Jeff Levering. And he's our Brewers 360 guest every Wednesday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Being at the ballpark the last couple of days and seeing the bunting, you know it's baseball season.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dumphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
There I was outside doing some yard work when I noticed my neighbor looking over his windows. He's climbing up and down his ladder, and I hear him holler to his wife, "Honey, we're gonna need a few new windows." So I took a walk over and said, "Hi Ron, do you mind if I take a look?" He said, "Go right ahead." And I said, "You know, the window itself, which is the framework to the glass here, looks fine. And the sill, which is the bottom of the framework, that's fine too. It's the glass that needs replacing. The seal must be broke, and that lets in the moisture we're seeing. That's why your windows are fogging up." And he said, "So I don't need new windows?" And I said, "No, actually, if you want, I can have the glass replaced, and they'll basically be as good as new. And believe me, it'll cost you a lot less than replacing these." This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, CertaPro Painters. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Let the rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 31st. Your top story, standing trial on the death of a Milwaukee police officer.
I'm Jessica Ty. Can countries just take oil from the Strait of Hormuz?
Chance of storms today. It looks like the watches and warnings have been canceled or expired, for now anyway, but a strong line of storms is out west toward Jefferson County and extending west to Madison. That could be moving this direction. Keep you updated as time progresses. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 33. It's currently 42 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 1 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, witnesses continue to take the stand in the trial of Tremaine Jones, the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder. During opening statements, defense attorney Abigail Ruckteschel called Officer Corder's death a tragedy.
But the one thing that makes this tragedy worse is if we don't have the right person. And it's defense's position here. The state doesn't have the right person.
Assistant District Attorney Grant Hubner says the prosecution has more than enough evidence linking Jones to last summer's shooting. Jones faces 4 felony charges. If convicted, he could face life in prison.
Governor Tony Evers vetoes 5 bills that aim to restrict gender-affirming medical care and athletic participation for transgender youth. Republican lawmakers sponsored the measures. They say they were meant to protect kids. Evers argues the bills would make Wisconsin less safe and less inclusive for the LGBTQ community. The governor vetoed those bills today on International Transgender Day of Visibility.
The Supreme Court rules on a major case on conversion therapy after a lawsuit from a Christian counselor in Colorado. CBS's Jan Crawford.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is the lone dissenter, which I think is not surprising. She kind of tipped her hand at those oral arguments back in October that she thought that states could regulate this kind of speech as medical treatment, as conduct, that it didn't amount to kind of any kind of free speech issue. What this means is a big victory for this Colorado Springs therapist and how the state was kind of seeking to apply the law that affected her counseling practice.
The justices agreed the law raises free speech concerns claims and sent it back to a lower court to decide if it meets a legal standard that few laws pass.
As the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, President Trump is telling other countries to either purchase U.S. oil or just take it from the strait.
President Trump now says he believes the Strait of Hormuz will, quote, automatically open when the U.S. ends its military operations against Iran. He told the New York Post in a phone interview Tuesday the U.S. won't be there too much longer, saying it's, quote, total obliteration. But when asked about a Wall Street Journal report that he's considering ending the war without the strait reopening, the president sidestepped and said, quote, I don't think about it, to be honest. But on Monday, the president threatened to bomb power plants, oil wells, Karg Island, and possibly the country's desalination plants if the strait did not immediately open. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And a new report from a Florida Sheriff's Department provides a little more information on Tiger Woods' latest traffic crash. The affidavit from the Martin County Sheriff's Department says Woods told police he was looking down at his cell phone and changing the radio station before the March 27th crash on Jupiter Island. Woods was also described as sweating profusely and seemed impaired. Officers found 2 opioid pain pills in his pants pocket. Woods was charged with DUI and failure to submit to a DUI test following the crash. No one was injured.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 104.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life. This pain right here won't go away.
I just felt okay. It's something I'm gonna have to live with.
I just lived with it.
So I suffered with it for several years.
I felt like it was getting worse and worse.
I'm 46 years of age, so I did not want to get a knee replacement. And I was like, something has to be done.
You don't want to have knee surgery if you don't have to.
Once I found Rejuvenex, I feel 100% better.
It eliminated the pain.
All of a sudden I went, oh wow. I started feeling pretty good.
So now I'm back. I can walk.
I'm excited for myself. I can't wait to continue.
I can stand longer. I can walk longer.
I can run a little bit. I should say jog.
The pain just went away. It's just wonderful.
It's a life changer. I definitely would recommend it.
Your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to schedule your appointment.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers look to bounce back after a 3-2 loss to the Rays Monday night. Brandon Woodruff makes his first start of the season tonight in Game 2. Woodruff had major shoulder surgery in 2023 and was shut down in September of last season after just 12 starts.
Physically, I feel good. I was able to have a full off season. I knew it was going to take me 2 years or more to kind of feel normal again, and it truly has taken that long.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05. The Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million deal, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. And just 8 games remain in the Bucs' regular season schedule, including tonight against the Mavericks. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I have a new development, and it's a good one in Milwaukee County. 4194 South, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Ryan Road. There was a car fire there earlier, and just a couple minutes ago here, everything cleared. There were numerous emergency responders out there, and traffic was definitely stepping on the brakes as it was going by. But that has since cleared. It's technically still up on the big board, but I did take a peek at the cameras for you, and it's no longer there. We love that. We do have a number of disabled vehicles dotting the system today. Most of them are not causing any problems. And the good news is the one that was close to American Family Field, that is out of here now as well. So that's really helping with the delays in our construction zone, both eastbound and westbound around the ballpark.
Thunderstorm warnings have expired in multiple counties. Rain coming down pretty hard. A strong band of storms right now pushing through Madison into northwestern Jefferson County. It's kind of on a line. It's moving toward Waukesha and Milwaukee County. In fact, expected to hit Waukesha County sometime this hour. A pretty strong band of storms, heavy rains, a good amount of lightning as well. So be cautious if you're out on the roads, as this could be hit before 2 o'clock here in most of our listening area here in southeastern Wisconsin. Otherwise, rain to the south in Racine right now, in Kenosha, starting to push out, getting a little closer to Lake Michigan. But the narrow and strong line of storms right now running from Monroe all the way up toward Fond du Lac and Sheboygan. Any warnings or watches? We'll let you know here on WTMJ.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
108 on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica with you until 3 o'clock. We've got Brewers baseball later tonight as Game 2 against the Rays. That series gets underway at about 6:05.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, another teen takeover in Milwaukee County, and a new message to try to stop these. Police responded at 23rd and Burleigh last night after someone fired a gun during a teen takeover at Moody Park. It started with another social media post. The teens promote the takeover, then dozens of kids show up, and as we've witnessed over the last couple of days, fights break out. It happened last night at Moody Park, and it happened Sunday at Bayshore. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is hoping parents will play a role in stopping these.
And so I want to urge all the parents to stay engaged in your child's life. I mean, look at their social media. Know where they are going, who they're with. I mean, talk to your kids about what they're posting and sharing online. I do that with my daughter. She's 18. I mean, spreading messages of violence can make an already dangerous situation even worse. We shouldn't allow violence to go viral in the first place. I mean, my daughter is who told me about what was happening.
And it's messed up. The social media page, at least the one on Instagram where the kids are posting about the takeovers, promotes good vibes only. Like if you just go on and you look at the post, good vibes only. But then that same account is also posting videos like in the reels where they disappear after, 24 hours or so, where they go into another spot. There are videos there showing the fights and kids, and in some cases, young ladies just punching each other. Chicago, by the way, dealing with these as well. I saw there was a teen takeover in Hyde Park last night, and in that case, teens were jumping on top of cars and leaping from one to the other. Some of these cars were damaged. Police got there, but not before those cars were damaged. So Milwaukee County needs to get this under control before summer arrives.
More pain at the pump blamed on the war in Iran, and the White House is responding to the record price.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, quote, when Operation Epic Fury is complete, gas prices will plummet back to the multi-year lows American drivers enjoyed before these short-term disruptions. She added, President Trump remains committed to fully unleashing American energy dominance, lowering costs, and putting more money back in the pockets of hardworking American families, unquote. The president has referred to the war as an excursion and said prices will drop like a rock when it's over. The last time prices were this high was nearly 4 years ago after Russia invaded Ukraine. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Cost of gas is up $1.07 per gallon on average since the start of the war. The cost of diesel, even more. It's up about $1.70 per gallon. Higher diesel prices, raising the freight and delivery costs, which would likely increase prices for you and me when we go out and buy goods or groceries or whatever it might be. In Milwaukee County, the average cost is $3.67 per gallon, about 10 cents cheaper per gallon on average in Waukesha County.
Well, speaking of costs, it's going to be a potentially costly Easter in just 5 days. In some cases, you'll pay more. In other cases, you'll get less. And sometimes it will be both.
The National Retail Federation has compared 5 popular chocolate candies, finding that since 2020, prices have risen on average by 67%. Barring that, shrinkflation has taken hold. Cadbury chocolate mini eggs cost about the same as they did in 2022, but the package has shrunk from 10 ounces to 9. Despite all that, the NRF says the average family is boosting its Easter candy budget by about 15% this year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Using prices charged by Target as its basis, the National Retail Federation, looked at all these, and they found that Hershey bars cost 108% more per ounce than in 2020.
Huh.
That's significant. But how much are the Peeps? Oh, let's be honest, I don't care. I don't like them.
It's just sugar, right? It's just kind of all sugar. I don't know if the price of sugar has gone up yet. I'm sure it has.
Well, I know some of you love Peeps. It's really like a love-hate relationship with Peeps.
Yeah, all hate over here.
If you are buying Peeps, the prices have gone up on Peeps. Just not as much as chocolate, and the price has gone up much more slowly than chocolate. Up next, if you can tell the difference between a ribbit and a croak, you're needed. What is a Frogger? And why does Wisconsin need them right now? It's 1:13.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, hey, don't let it bother you. You make a call to Geis, get on track with Geis. Incredible brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock and ready to go for you. The inventory is amazing. They also have a custom design center if that's what your project requires. Custom, swift and reliable garage repair solutions of any kind are available for you with a trip to Geis. Check out their showroom in Brookfield, just off Barker Road. Connect with the fine folks at Geis who have been doing this for 70 years and doing it the right way. Or start the project at geisdoors.com. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, we find out about hydroponic farming. Not just a short growing season, but 365 days a year. And we talk to author Mark Kurlansky, To Catch a Fish. Who doesn't want to read that book?
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Well, rain expected to impact those in southeastern Wisconsin here before too long. There's a strong band of storms right now east of Madison into Jefferson County, moving into Waukesha County, and eventually Milwaukee County. No new warnings or watches on the horizon, at least not yet. That could change. Meanwhile, you've got some storms to the south of Milwaukee in the Racine-Kenosha area. Those are starting to move across over into Lake Michigan. So that's not the concern. The concern right now is north of Milwaukee, really all the way up to Sheboygan, extending down toward the state line into the western portion of the state near Monroe. So active pattern here, a lot of lightning, heavy winds, and rain coming down. We'll keep you updated throughout the day.
You know that sound you hear in Wisconsin every spring when you crack a window at night and it sounds like the pond behind your house is throwing a party?
Kind of like that.
That loud croaking, chirping, ribbiting chorus that suddenly shows up out of nowhere. Well, that noise is actually a big deal. And the Wisconsin DNR is asking for help tracking it. They're looking for volunteers for the annual Wisconsin Frog and Toad Survey. Greg, I didn't even know this was a thing.
No, I did not. When you said that Wisconsin was looking for froggers, I kind of went to this, as I love Frogger. I think I had a record at Aladdin's Castle back in the day.
Well, get this. It's been going on for more than 40 years. And the volunteers, yes, they are called froggers. Andrew Badgie from the Wisconsin DNR joins us live to explain how this all works, why frogs are basically nature's warning system, and how you can help just by using your ears. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be on here talking about frogs.
So my first thought is, and I think about this a lot up in Door County because I hear frogs all the time. When you hear frogs, especially at night, what exactly are you hearing? Are you hearing like territory calls, mating calls, or is it just frogs being frogs?
Well, you get to hear it. Mostly, the only sounds that are being made by the males. Then they're breeding or advertisement calls to attract females to come in, and so that's predominantly what you're hearing. Although every once in a while there will be some other more odd calls that you don't quite recognize as much, but those tend to be male territorial calls.
And perhaps alcohol.
Basically, the males are. Yeah, the males are basically telling other males to kind of stay out of their prime breeding spots.
That is interesting. We've got a couple of retention ponds in our subdivision, and it's pretty noisy at night during the summer. You will hear the noises of frogs, and there's toads in that area as well. How territorial are they? How much space do they really need to do what they need to do?
Well, some of our smaller species like spring peepers and chorus frogs, those territories basically come down to a matter of inches or feet. And when you get some of the bigger species like American bullfrogs in the state, those tend to be a little bit larger, but they're not significantly big. It's just giving the males enough space so they can kind of feel like they're not getting encroached on, and so they can kind of focus on their breeding calls so they can attract the females.
I mentioned this frog and toad survey has been going on for 40 years. It matters. Why does it matter? What data are you ultimately getting, thanks to the froggers, who we'll get to in just a moment, but what data are you getting, and why does that matter?
Yeah, so I'll start really quickly from the beginning. In the mid 1900s, we started noticing some of our frogs were disappearing from different types of landscapes, and so what we did in the DNR, in addition to some help with Stevens Point, was we set up this Wisconsin Frog and Toad Survey. And so some of the things that it helped us do initially was document where all of our frog species, all 12 species, are found throughout the state. And over time, since 1984, that's kind of evolved into documenting long-term trends for each of the species. So we as DNR managers and wildlife biologists can put in proactive efforts if we're noticing that certain species are declining beyond what we want them to be declining towards. So there's some really good stuff that volunteers do a lot for us, and it's something that it's something that volunteers can do for a really good conservation dollar for the biologists in the state too.
So, Andrew, what specifically do you need volunteers to do, and are certain parts of the state more ripe for this activity than others?
Well, we have 3 separate projects. The main one that we were kind of talking about, that's their primary frog and toad survey, and so volunteers will actually pick an open route in the state that consists of 10 different sites and listen at each site for the frog calls and record the frog calls for about 5 minutes at each site. And so those routes are statewide. We have upwards of around 215 of them right now. However, we have had a lot of demand recently in the southeast part of the state. And so we do have a couple spotted routes here and there in the southeast, but for the most part, most of the routes are kind of up in the Northwoods that we're looking for help on.
So how seriously do the froggers take their job? And how did the term froggers come up? Because I just love it.
Well, it was probably, I've been coordinating the survey since 2010, and that's just something that some of my predecessors would call the volunteers froggers. And we have beginning froggers. Sometimes I like calling them tadpoles or even toadlets, which are kind of young stage toads. And then even some of the ones some of the volunteers have been doing this since the survey started, and they actually have been surveying longer than I've been alive at this point.
You call them old toads?
I like to call them Uber froggers.
Oh, that's a good one.
But they get a lot of value out of it. Not only do they get to kind of get outside and see what's going on in their neighborhoods, or see who's out, and also see a bunch of different types of wildlife too that you can see a lot easier at night while you're driving around versus during the day when they're taking naps and staying hidden from humans. So there's a lot of really cool things, again, that they get to experience in addition to the frogs. But yeah, I would like to say, we have a lot of extremely passionate froggers, and I think we're upwards of about 400 or so volunteers in the state. So
Wow.
it's not just a small contribution of people in Wisconsin.
So you just record it like on a iPhone or something like that, and just sort of email your MP3 to the DNR, and they kind of determine what species of frog that is? Is it that simple?
Not quite. We basically give people opportunities to learn calls on their own, and then they'll go out and listen to it, and then they'll kind of record it in a data sheet, and then they can either mail the data sheets or submit their data online, or tell me that they want me to submit a form and stuff too. So we have a bunch of different ways to do that as well, and so we try and make it as simple for them as possible. But yeah, we do actually ask volunteers to learn the calls, and so that they get that experience too, versus just having us identify all the MP3 files that would come in. Because I think if it would probably be upwards of about 4,000 or so MP3 files every year just to analyze. So it's nice having the volunteers kind of ID some of these on their own too.
What does a healthy frog population tell you about the health of our lakes and wetlands?
Well, the health of our frogs is important for not only humans, but other things higher up in the food chain as well. So birds, snakes, raccoons, really anything that's kind of higher up that would kind of need to feed on things that are low down in the food chain that are more abundant than the higher up in the food chain species. And so that's just one of the things that they do. But they also indicate health of the wetland itself and lakes and other things like that too. So they really do kind of indicate a lot of good things for environmental health in the area.
Well, we appreciate it. We learned so much. We had no idea that this was going on, and we love the idea of there are 400 froggers out there across the state of Wisconsin, and maybe today we've recruited some more. So we appreciate your time so much. That's Andrew Badgie with Wisconsin DNR. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Yep, thanks for having me.
We played our different sound at the same time.
It's the only kind of frogging that I was familiar with when I was growing up. Hey, you go to Aladdin's Castle, you got to get that frog under the lily pad, right? You got to avoid the fly, all that good stuff. This is a different life version.
I mean, just think about it. How often you hear the frogs in springtime?
All the time.
I just had no idea that there was, number one, anybody called a frogger out there. Number two, that they were doing this work that the DNR needs. And number three, now that we know that there's so many of them, hundreds of froggers across the state of Wisconsin.
I feel like I could do this. There are frogs definitely peeking up in spring and summer around our area. I like it. 125 and WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast, built by Siding Unlimited. Also, check us out on YouTube. We have our program broadcast there every day. Watch us on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Turn your tax refund into a new bathroom at Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. Upgrade your bathroom with Max. With more than 1,000 showers, bathtubs, and surrounds, you're sure to find exactly what you need to add luxury and style to your bathroom. Save big on our entire selection of Max bathroom products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for Sorens Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, my go-to place. Wonderful people. I've known the Sorens family for, going on 30 years. It's a fourth-generation family-owned business located right in the heart of Brookfield and the home of the nice guys since 1917. 1917. Think about that. Over 100 years, Sorens Ford in business in Wisconsin as the longest-running Ford dealership in the state. Really is your go-to place for all things Ford, new and used. Plus, check out that expansive used car selection. Begin that process online or take a trip over to Brookfield and Capitol, and you will see Sorens Ford. If they don't have what you're looking for on the lot, they will help you find it. Quality, personable, knowledgeable staff, that leads to a great buying and ownership experience. I've had them perform service on one of my vehicles, and they did a great job. Everything was on time, fairly priced. They'll even come to you for certain service opportunities. They might be able to come to your place of work or even your home. How about an oil change in your driveway? That'll save you a little bit of time. You could do it with Sorens Ford. Check them out online at SOERENS.com. That's Sorens.com.
Are you still paying month after month for GLP-1 weight loss shots? Dealing with nausea, fatigue, and side effects just to keep the scale from creeping back up? And if you stop the medication, you risk the weight coming right back. At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we take a different approach. A doctor-supervised weight loss program without lifetime drugs, without monthly injections, and without being chained to a prescription to maintain results. No refills, no dependency, no endless costs. If you're serious about losing weight and keeping it off, visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today to schedule your free consultation. There is a better way.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi. I did Milwaukee Weight Loss's program last year, lost 45 pounds, and I'm in the maintenance phase this year, still losing weight, keeping that weight off. That's the secret to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. You can do it.
If you're ready to lose up to 20 to 30 pounds in about a month without lifelong medications, schedule your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey, Easter's almost here. I urge you to take your family to the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford, the most affordable Easter dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. Do not cook and clean. Enjoy your family and the all-you-can-eat Mind Chef Easter brunch. It's every dish you love for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a huge dessert table. It's gorgeous. It's under $26. You'll pay a lot more elsewhere. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free, and they can safely play in the world-class game room quietly tucked away from the dining area. Sip on a Bloody Mary, an old-fashioned. Enjoy a glass of wine for a perfect Easter brunch. The Mind Chef's Good Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $8.99. Incredible value. It's delicious. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, close parking. Google, call, reserve your table today. It's big food. It's big fun. Don't cook and clean this Easter. Don't do it. Let the Mine Shaft serve you. It is the amazing Mine Shaft.
It's time. It's time your ad dollar reached far more than you thought possible. And it's time your ad message made a dramatic impact on your bottom line. The results we brought our small business clients are significant, and there's no reason we can't bring you the same success, no matter what your ad budget is. So go to Anderson-Smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I will call you in short order, because it is time. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. If you're buying and creating advertising for your small business, but you're not sure how to make it work, then I want you to know we can make radio or TV advertising work for you. Both are very powerful media, and both can be affordable. And we have a laundry list of notable long-term clients who will vouch for us. So if you have an interest in increasing the chances of your small business's advertising success, go to Anderson-Smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, send me a quick email, and I'll call you in short order. That's Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, a social media post leads to another teen takeover.
I'm Jessica Ty. One lawsuit dismissed against Wisconsin's congressional maps.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. While the Pentagon steps up its military strikes on Iranian targets, President Trump is signaling that the war may not go on much longer and suggesting the Strait of Hormuz will automatically reopen when the U.S. leaves the region. The ongoing war sending oil and gas prices even higher, jet fuel doubling in a matter of weeks. ABC's Sam Sweeney says gas prices in the U.S. also above $4 a gallon.
This is the single greatest increase in a 30-day period in history. Experts calling it the biggest supply shock in our history. And it is affecting everything from the prices of groceries to the price of how much you pay for your airline ticket.
As America gears up to mark its 250th celebration, President Trump announcing that Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla will travel to the U.S. later this month for a state visit. In Florida, the affidavit from last week's Tiger Woods car accident and DUI arrest has been released. Officers reporting it appeared Woods may have been under the influence. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Another teen takeover in the Milwaukee area.
Moody Park is going to be about 23rd an hour for a large crowd that's forming regarding that park takeover.
Scanner audio from Broadcastify. Police responded to multiple fights between dozens of teenagers and reports of gunfire at the park Monday evening. This comes after at least a dozen people were arrested during a teen takeover at Bayshore Mall on Sunday. In a video posted on social media, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley calls out the behavior.
I want to urge all the parents to stay engaged in your child's life. I mean, look at their social media. Know where they are going, who they're with.
Police say multiple social media posts prompted the takeovers.
A fire breaks out inside a FedEx truck in Madison. Fire crews responded Monday morning to the truck on fire inside a FedEx distribution facility in the city's northeast side. Staff were able to remove that truck from the building. Then they used a dry chemical extinguisher to put out the flames. Turns out the fire started from a box of lithium-ion batteries. Madison Fire Department says this is the second fire related to lithium-ion batteries in just 3 days. No one was hurt.
Some Republican lawmakers are pushing to eliminate vehicle emissions testing in Wisconsin.
Congressman and gubernatorial candidate Tom Tiffany says he plans to work with the EPA to secure a waiver that would end Wisconsin's emissions testing requirement. State Representative Bob Donovan argues the program is outdated since today's vehicles are cleaner and more efficient. They also say it puts a financial burden on low-income residents. Emissions testing is required in 7 counties in the southeastern part of the state. Drivers in those areas have to complete mandatory emissions tests every 2 years to renew their registration. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A 3-judge panel dismisses a lawsuit challenging Wisconsin congressional map lines as partisan gerrymandering. The panel ruled it lacks the authority to overturn the map drawn by the Wisconsin Supreme Court in 2022. The state Supreme Court appointed 2 3-judge panels to handle separate challenges to the state's congressional map. The second panel is still considering a lawsuit that claims the map is anti-competitive gerrymandering. That suit is scheduled to go to trial in 2027.
A canine officer finds a stolen gun in West Bend. A 21-year-old man from West Dallas allegedly stole a gun while visiting a home near Wayne Road and North 13th Avenue on West Bend's northwest side. He fled on foot from police and eventually was arrested, but police found a different gun on his person. So canine officer Flash was brought in and located the stolen gun completely hidden in a pile of leaves about 200 feet from West Bend High School. The suspect was arrested on charges of theft, carrying a concealed weapon, and being armed while intoxicated.
Brandon Woodruff makes his first start of the season tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes. And for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Skylight Music Theater presents A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare's classic story meets an original genre-spanning score in this modern rock and roll musical full of humor, heart, and theatrical mischief. Join me, Sandy Max, for a special Max-Experience on April 15th. We will begin having drinks in the Skylight Bar at 6:30 p.m., followed by the performance at 7:30. Purchase tickets for April 15th at skylightmusictheater.org to join me and use promo code SANDY15 for 15% off your ticket. See you there.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers looking to bounce back after a 3-2 loss to the Rays Monday night. Brandon Woodruff to the hill tonight in Game 2 of that 3-game series. Woodruff had major shoulder surgery in 2023. He was shut down in September of last season, just before the postseason.
Physically, I feel good. I was able to have a full off season. I knew it was going to take me 2 years or more to kind of feel normal again, and it truly has taken that long.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million contract, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. And the Bucks take on the Mavericks tonight at Fiserv Forum. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We definitely are seeing a day of disabled vehicles. You got cars breaking down here and there. The good part of it is, at least today, right now, the ones that I'm looking at really are not impacting traffic. But we do have a couple of busy spots, including I-43 south at the ramp from Locust Street. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down there. We also have one near the Zoo interchange, 41 894 north at I-94. Left shoulder is blocked there due to another car that's broken down. And then up by Highway 100 south at Febrant, the right lane is blocked due to a broken down vehicle. As far as our delays on 94 due to construction right around American Family Field, not too bad. There is some slowing, but I've definitely seen worse. It's a little, we'll call it on the scale of nothing to yellow to red. It's a yellow, Greg. Just a little slowing.
Well, all those colors you mentioned referenced on the radar right now as well. A pretty strong line of storms moving through Jefferson County, impacting Waukesha County, even Ozaukee, and appears to be making a beeline here for Milwaukee County. As of now, it doesn't appear as if there are any watches or warnings, but there were some earlier. Let's welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. Lauren, what is the latest? Are there any watches or warnings? I was trying to keep track of things and thought I'd go to the expert to answer that question.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we do not have any active watches or warnings out right now, which is great. But we are keeping an eye on that line of strong thunderstorms, like you just mentioned. And in the National Weather Service chat, as they kind of talk about those watches and warning possibilities, they said they had one of the hail cores just move past their office, which is in Sullivan, and they're seeing about pea-sized hail with it. So still the potential for some hail within that line of thunderstorms, but we're not seeing any large hail, anything larger than pea-sized, as far as those reports right now.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Let's talk about the winds, too, because, man, they really shifted last night, and it sounds like the winds are playing a role in what's happening right now and moving forward as well.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Last night we were watching those storms because we had southerly winds for most of the day, kind of with a warm front pushing into southeast Wisconsin. But if those storms were to impact Milwaukee, they were kind of messing with the lake breeze a little bit. Well, now we're talking about a cold front sweeping through. That's what's kind of triggering these thunderstorms that we're seeing right now. And of course, with the cold front, we're seeing a switch in our winds right now out of the northwest, a little pretty gusty out there. I don't know if I've seen any super strong gusts yet today, but definitely just feeling different.
So, Lauren, I've been kind of tracking the radar with Storm Team 4, and things have they seemed a little spaced out. When we began the show, it was pretty clear from Milwaukee all the way west to Madison, but the southern part of our listening area, Racine and Kenosha, even over toward Janesville, pretty hard. Up to the north, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, a pretty good band of storms up there. Well, now it looks like things have sort of converged, and you've got this line ready to move into Milwaukee County before too long. Do these move through relatively quickly, or is there more building potential behind it?
Well, great news is with this line pushing through, this is really the last of the severe weather or even thunderstorm chances throughout the rest of the day today. So we've kind of used up all that energy with the storms this morning and last night. This front pushing through will be the last of it. But it is interesting as we kind of look at the radar loop from the past 3 hours. It was kind of north of Milwaukee and south of Milwaukee, but it is starting to converge right now.
So I'm looking ahead here as we get rid of this energy that we have today. Tomorrow, what I'm taking note of is the chance for a rain-snow mix in the evening, and then Thursday, a widespread rain event. What are you most concerned about, and what should people be keeping a watch on?
Well, personally, I'm most concerned about the drop in temperature. I mean, our highs tomorrow still barely hitting 40 degrees, so now we're below average. And I'm not, looking forward to the colder weather. I think what people need to be focused on is what the slush kind of looks like, what that mix looks like late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and really how slippery it could be for your Thursday morning commute, especially if we see those temperatures fall below freezing into the early morning hours of Thursday and then rain on top of that. I think it could be, not a large amount of ice accumulation, but I think it'll be enough to make things pretty slippery really across southeast Wisconsin.
A lot of rain in the United States today. If you look at Michigan right now, it's catching what Illinois had earlier today, and it's catching part of what we had roll through the first wave. The entire state of Michigan is green. I've noticed that, too. So it's a pretty wet pattern, and it's even raining out in the Phoenix area, for goodness sake. So it is a wet start to, or end, I should say, to the month of March here. It's kind of consistent around the country.
Yeah, definitely. It does seem to be kind of an active pattern for all of the United States, especially as we kind of talk about these chances for rain to continue into the weekend.
All right, Lauren, we will check in again later this week. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
So no more watches or warnings, at least not yet. I suppose one could pop up here, but a strong line of storms bearing down on Milwaukee County. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, but it's got some potency to it. Definitely plenty of lightning, minimal-sized hail, but hail's part of the forecast here. And the rain that moves through should move through quickly, and hopefully the rest of the day is quiet. 1:43 on WTMJ.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
Well, those who know me well know that I do not like disorganization. I don't like clutter, not at all. In fact, it drives me nuts. It's a source of stress in my life, and I try to eliminate it as best I can. While our master closet was kind of a disaster spot for several months, it was that cluttered space, and I didn't have a solution. The wire racking that we had was starting to fall apart, never really looked that good to begin with. We were in a constant state of flux doing laundry, sort of a never-ending cycle at our house. Well, thank you to Inspired Closets Milwaukee. We've got a brand new master closet, and it is unbelievable. It's gorgeous. I could not believe the transformation that the closet really ended up becoming. Now we want to leave that door open to our master, thanks to the inspired design by Katie and Dan and the team at Inspired Closets. They came out, they did the measurements. We got that racking off the wall, that builder-grade junk that we had installed when we built the house. And now we've got our shoes concealed. Our laundry is not on display. I got to take that big clunky dresser out of the space. We've got a beautiful and organized space, and it's clutter-free. It's a source of relaxation. We've got LED lighting. It's beautiful. I can dim it. It's a great space. Inspired Closets Milwaukee can transform your master closet, your pantry, your laundry room, maybe your mudroom. Ask what they can do in the garage. Really any space that needs some decluttering and organizational touch. You can rely on Katie and Dan, a wife and husband team. Visit InspiredCloset.Milwaukee.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or your local CVS.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Well, the 2026 James Beard Foundation Restaurant and Chef Award finalists being announced today by the famous foundation. Chefs, restaurants, bars, you name it. And many from Wisconsin were well represented in the 12 semifinalists. But now they've boiled it down to the finalists. And of those 12 semifinalists from the state of Wisconsin, we have 5 finalists in a variety of categories. This is amazing stuff. And before we get into the finalists and what categories they're in and the different awards that are up on the line here for Wisconsin-based businesses, this used to be a pipe dream for businesses located in Wisconsin. You get the occasional, Sanford would be recognized, or you didn't have a lot of inclusion from the state of Wisconsin, specifically southeastern Wisconsin, for best restaurants or best chef. I would say in the last 5 or 6 years, Wisconsin has become more and more well represented in these big-time awards highlighting the culinary scene.
Well, and think about it, just how different the restaurant scene has changed for you as somebody who goes out to eat. I mean, we have so many great restaurants in the city of Milwaukee now. It's awesome. Our food scene has just skyrocketed. And it's not just one sector either. Because I think years back you might have said, oh, we're missing this, or we don't really have, a ton of great Mediterranean places. I feel like it's hard to say we don't have this anymore in Milwaukee.
That is the truth. In a very stark contrast from when I moved to Milwaukee in roughly 2001. The scene is unbelievable. And there's so many quaint locations. You can find just about everything. So here are the finalists now. 5 finalists in various categories. I'll go through the finalist categories for you here. Hastings Cameron of Imaginary Factory in Madison. He's earned a nomination for Outstanding Professional in Cocktail Service. Remember last year we had a bar in Milwaukee as a finalist for Best New Bar in America.
Agency,
which is fantastic, really unique. And we have the owner of that bar on with us. And they were up against, a bar from Austin, Texas, and a bar from Houston. I think there was one just outside of the continental United States as well. So you've got that. 2 finalists from Door County. Sway Brewing and Blending in Bailey's Harbor for Outstanding Wine and Other Beverage Programs. And Cultured in Sister Bay for Outstanding Bakery. I've never been to either. They both sound lovely.
I have been to both of those. Not a ton. I've only been to Cultured once. I've been to Sway Brewing and Blending a couple of times in Bailey's Harbor. But I'll be honest, I am super excited for one that you're going to tell us in a moment here. I'm extra excited for that one, but I might be even more so excited for the ones up in Door County because Door County is growing in the food scene. And I say growing, like it's happening now. And I think this is a big deal for Door County. You have more great chefs who are moving up there. And Door County for a long time, and you could argue still is this spot where in the winter it kind of shuts down. And now you have some restaurants that aren't doing that anymore because more and more people are staying year-round and they want good restaurants that are open year-round. Cultured has some great fresh bagels, and Sway is just a fun place to go and grab a great beer made in Bailey's Harbor.
The other 2 are local. Chef Zach Baker of Calacenzo in Wauwatosa been named among the nominees for Best Chef Midwest, in distinction that a couple of folks here in Wisconsin have been honored with. And the final one is a big one. This is about as big as you can get. 1033 Omakase in Walker's Point is a finalist for Best New Restaurant in America. This is not regional. This is the big dog. This is maybe the major award here offered by the James Beard Foundation.
Now, you're never going to be able to get in and get a reservation.
It is interesting you mentioned that. So what is 1033 Omakase? Well, this is a very unique Japanese place. Why is it so hard to get a table?
It's
well,
small.
They don't
Very
have tables, right? You sit at the bar. There's room for 10 in the dining area, and you're looking at the sushi bar. So just think of it, and they have 3 services throughout the day, 5 o'clock, 6:45, and 8:30, either 10 courses or 14 courses as curated by Chef Ray. there's not a lot of options. They can accommodate 10 diners at a time. That's it. And everybody sits at the sushi bar and watches the magic happen. So tables are months out at 1033 Omakase. I've never been there. I don't know if you have either, but an amazing looking place.
I was at that location when it was 1033 MKE, so I know just how small it is and also how unique it is as well. But people are just raving about 1033 Omakase and the food there. And I just checked. I was looking at social media. I was looking at social media earlier this morning to see how these restaurants and various places were responding. And I think it took a little bit of time for them to get word of this. But now I do see 1033 Omakase says, finally, grateful, honored, hungry for more. How appropriate is that? And when we talked about Bailey's Harbor as an example for Sway, I was checking out to see if they had word yet. And they right now, their crew is in Belgium. They're trying some beers. They're probably getting some inspiration. And so for a while, I didn't see anything. And now all of a sudden they have the outstanding wine and other beverages program list up on their stories feed as well. Same thing for Cultured too. It's kind of interesting. I think Cultured is taking a break right now. And that goes to what I was saying before. Up in Door County, a lot of times this time of the year, not everybody's open. So Cultured took, I'm not sure how long it was, but I think at least for a couple of weeks they were closed down. They'll be back open soon, and they'll be getting ready for the rush of spring and summer up in Door County.
So 1033 Omakase, I went to their website. Well, it's not really a website. It takes you to their Instagram page. You know, sometimes you learn about a restaurant. Like, I'd like to check out the menu. You can't do that with 1033 Omakase. They don't have a menu. It changes every day. It's chef specials. You know that you are going to likely have some sashimi, sushi, and things that are ultra special that you've probably never seen before, but they don't have a daily menu. They don't rotate. It's not seasonal. It's whatever they got, whatever's inspiring their chef, and they bring it out in 10 or 14 courses.
I think they also do a good job with their photography with the food as well.
Beautiful.
Some might say, what do they call it? Food porn?
Yeah.
That kind of is what their what their Instagram page looks like.
That qualifies. So good luck to everybody here in this this prestigious award. Winners will be announced at a ceremony in Chicago on June 15th. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, built by Siding Unlimited. Truly, Siding, get a whole lot more. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And a reminder, we're on YouTube each and every day, each and every show broadcast on our YouTube channel, WTMJ YouTube channel. Find us with Wisconsin's Midday News, and you can watch the program as you listen. 154.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Hey, thanks, John. If you've been hurt in an accident, you need a place to call that can help fight your legal battle while you focus on healing. That call going to make it easy for you. Make a call to Gruber Law Offices, gruber-law.com if you'd like to begin the process online. They've been doing it for 40 years here in the state of Wisconsin. David and his team of 30-plus attorneys are ready to fight your legal battle with this family-run business with community-minded values, but a big and powerful team ready to take on the insurance companies. They are Gruber, one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest, point blank, and get results that speak for themselves. And as always the case with Gruber, no fee or cost to call, no cost to consult or retain their firm. Never a fee with Gruber until they win your case. It's what they'll do. It's what they've been doing while giving back to the community. They were big supporters of our Thanalysis live show last week. Anywhere you go around the area, you will no doubt see Gruber behind a wonderful community initiatives here in the area. Gruber-law.com or make a call to 414-276-6666.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Hey, remember when your basement was just for storage? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. With Matrix Basement Finishing, they turn that empty space into the heart of your home. It's what they did for us. Whether it's a cozy family movie night or cheering on your favorite team during the best time of the year to watch sports. From the design consultation to picking out your perfect flooring and fixtures, the process is seamless and done at your home. Get the quality craftsmanship you deserve with no payments until 2028. And visit matrixbasements.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Accunet Mortgages and Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
City of Milwaukee is filing public nuisance lawsuits against an out-of-state landlord.
Eric Billstad.
About 200 employees will not have their current job in Milwaukee Public Schools at the end of the school year.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
You have a crash on the ramp from northbound 94 to 894. Yeah, so just be extra careful with that.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Braddington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Braddington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you're looking for power recliners or stationary seating, BY's Furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save 35% now on Braddington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Let the Rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Tuesday, March 31st. Your top story, witnesses take the stand in the trial of an officer's murder.
I'm Jessica Ty. Funding could be coming back to public media.
Well, rain's starting to roll through the Milwaukee area, Milwaukee County specifically, still hanging out in Waukesha County and a little bit in Jefferson County. It's a narrow but potent line of storms that, once it gets through, you shouldn't expect too much behind it. Nothing developing following this band. Some pops of lightning here, and mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 33. 40 degrees are high on Wednesday. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, more officers being called to the stand in the trial of Tremaine Jones, the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder. That includes MPD officer Charles Worthington, one of the first to respond to the shooting scene last summer near 25th and Garfield.
We encountered Officer Corder being unresponsive. Officer McCray was kind of shooting Officer Corder, and we attempted to do life-saving measures.
The prosecution also played footage from Worthington's body-worn camera.
Oh, come on, Corder! Come on, Corder! Hey!
The defense had no questions. Jones faces 4 felony charges. If convicted, he could face life in prison.
Governor Tony Evers vetoes 5 bills that aim to restrict gender-affirming medical care and athletic participation for transgender youth. Republican lawmakers sponsored the measures. They say they were meant to protect kids. Evers argues the bills would make Wisconsin less safe and less inclusive for the LGBTQ community. The governor vetoed the bills on today, International Transgender Day of Visibility.
Following Governor Tony Evers' veto of a bill that would opt Wisconsin into a nationwide school voucher program, education advocates are weighing in. The new federal program offers tax credits for donations to scholarship-granting organizations. In his veto message, Evers argued it would divert billions of dollars from public schools. City Forward Collective Executive Director Colston Morgan tells WTMJ.
Treasury and the Department of Education at the federal level have been super clear. Public schools are eligible, or public school students will be eligible to receive these dollars. Some of the details in that statement, they just haven't been worked out yet because this is still in federal rulemaking. So those are open questions yet to be decided.
The federal program begins next year.
A federal judge agrees to permanently block the Trump administration from implementing a presidential directive to end federal funding for National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting Service, NPR and PBS. The ruling finds President Trump's executive order is unlawful and unenforceable. The judge says the First Amendment right to free speech, quote, does not tolerate viewpoint discrimination and retaliation of this type.
A major rally for the stock market today on growing optimism over an end to the war in Iran. The Wall Street Journal says President Trump told allies he's willing to end military hostilities in the Middle East, even if the Strait of Hormuz remains largely shut down. Meanwhile, News Nation's Nicole Burley says U.S. attacks and rising gas prices continue in the States.
New strikes as the U.S. is pressing for a deal. The Pentagon dropping so-called bunker buster bombs on an Iranian ammunition depot. U.S. forces have hit more than 11,000 targets throughout this month-long war. But as the fight over the Strait of Hormuz continues, gas prices spiking now to their highest national average in years. Experts say they could continue to rise.
About $3.67, the average price of a gallon of gas here in Milwaukee. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Some major gains here and some much-needed relief. The Dow is up nearly 2.5%. That's over 1,000 points at 46,271. The NASDAQ up over 3.5%, about 700 points in the green at 21,558. And the S&P up about 2.7%. That's about 170 points at 6514. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Coop is in the can. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
You know, you might think that just because your home's windows are leaking air, foggy, or even broken or cracked, that you need to replace your entire window. But I'm here to tell you that just isn't the case. I mean, if the framework of the window is intact and all that needs to be repaired is the glass, then a quick phone call over to Les's Glass can get you a verbal quote. Or we can send an estimator out to your home to show you just how much money we can save you versus replacing your entire window. We remove the old glass, install new glass, and voila! You virtually have a brand new window at a fraction of the cost of full window replacement, along with a full 10-year warranty against seal failure too. So give us a call, because I think we can save you a few bucks. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on March 31st.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my
goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in March 31st at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brandon Woodruff makes his season debut tonight as the Brewers take on the Rays in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Woodruff had shoulder surgery in 2023. He missed all of 2024 and pitched just 12 games in 2025.
I know some of the velocity numbers are not like, they're not 96, 97, but just the way I feel physically is last year's not even, it's not even fair to compare to this year.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million contract, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. 21-year-old Pratt played most of last season at AA, begins the season this year at AAA, and is the Brewers' number 2 rated prospect. And Bucks basketball returns tonight to Fiserv Forum against the Mavericks. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash. The roads are wet right around American Family Field. This is a bad spot right here because it's in our construction zone. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. The left shoulder is blocked due to this crash. I do see that actually looks like that emergency responder just left the scene. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that was just a quick one and done there, and they are off. I will keep you posted, though. I do see that the backup is still pretty significant, very slow going, and definitely, with the roads being wet, do take it a little bit slower. Other than that, looks like we have some delays on 41 45 headed north around the Mayfair area due to construction. A lot of our disabled vehicles have been cleared. That's good news there. We do have a couple of them still out there, though, including 4194 north, just a little bit beyond Elm Road. The right shoulder is blocked there in Milwaukee County because of a vehicle that's been broken down for a bit.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford needs line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Contact the Mineshaft today and start next week.
Well, some rain coming down in Milwaukee County and Jefferson County and Waukesha County, and it's part of a line of storms that goes back to Janesville. Some of that could be moving through Racine and Kenosha before too long. Once it clears, shouldn't be too much behind it. So get through this narrow band of storms. Hopefully clears out before the afternoon or evening commute, and then we should be dry for the rest of the night. But temperatures plummet with this cold front moving through. Cloudy tonight, low 33. Tomorrow's high just 40 degrees. Chance of a rain-snow mix. It's 41 degrees and wet in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Todd.
And along with that, no warnings or watches. We did have some earlier today. Those expired about 12:45 for Jefferson County and Dodge County. Walworth County was included in that. I think Fond du Lac as well. So no warnings, no watches, but rain is coming down. Be cautious. Get those lights on if you're out on the roads.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, witnesses are now testifying in the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a Milwaukee police officer. The jury was set this morning. 9 men and 5 women will decide the fate of Tremaine Jones. That's 12 jurors and 2 alternates, just in case something happens. The 23-year-old is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and first-degree attempted homicide, among other charges, in the shooting incident last June. Officer Kendall Corder and Officer Christopher McRae were responding to a domestic violence call on the city's north side when they were ambushed. Investigators say Jones jumped from behind a bush in the dark and fired a gun at the officers. Today, the prosecution ended its opening statements on this note.
Officer Corder and Officer McRae were sent there because people called for help, and they're the police. The defendant was there with a short-barreled rifle because he was there for a fight between girls, and he demanded people come outside or he was going to shoot. And Officer Corder died because of that.
And this is how the defense sees the case.
The one thing that makes this tragedy worse is if we don't have the right person. And it's defense's position here state doesn't have the right person.
Officer Corder died at a hospital 3 days later. Officer McCrae survived his injuries. Witnesses called today include a Milwaukee police officer who manages the Shot Spotter program, a system that tracks gunfire in real time. If I remember correctly, when I was listening to him as he was being introduced, he said he's been with the department for 21 years, and he's been with the Fusion Division for about 7 years, so managing that Shot Spotter system. And you'll hear us talk about that from time to time, anytime there's an uptick or an increase in gunfire in the area. They also called a Milwaukee detective who talked about the 911 calls from that area that night. Jones has pleaded not guilty in the case. He faces life in prison if convicted. The trial is expected to go through the end of the week, but it could creep into next week.
Number 2, Tiger Woods was looking down at his phone and changing the radio station before a rollover crash in Florida last week, according to a probable cause affidavit. Woods was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence Friday after his Land Rover clipped a truck and rolled onto its side near his home on Jupiter Island, Florida. Woods was charged with DUI, refusing a lawful test, and property damage. He passed a breathalyzer test but refused to submit a urinalysis. The affidavit notes that 2 hydrocodone pills were found in his pocket and that Woods admitted to taking medication earlier in the day. Police also reported Woods to be lethargic in nature. A specific court date has not been finalized. It's also not the first time Woods has had an issue with driving under the influence. In 2017, he was arrested for driving under the influence after being found asleep at the wheel. He later pleaded guilty to reckless driving. In February of 2021, Woods suffered a severe leg injury, in fact, multiple. It was career-threatening in a single-car rollover crash in Los Angeles. This was happening as we were getting off the air last week, Friday, and they had a little press conference afterwards. He was jailed for 8 hours. That's customary in the state of Florida, and ultimately released on bond. But the latest update here is that Woods says he was looking at his phone and changing the radio station. A court date has not been finalized.
And if you don't pay attention to his dating history, and I know not many of you do, but some of you do because he has dated very high-profile people in the past. My mind goes directly to Lindsey Vonn. What was that, back in the, I don't know, like 2012 for a few years? You might not have realized that he has most recently been dating Vanessa Trump. And some people now know that because when this happened, all of a sudden people were like, was Vanessa in the car? Was her daughter in the car? So just kind of a little tidbit. They were not in the car, by the way, so they're just fine. But some people didn't even realize that relationship was happening. Other people very much so in the know, but just a little aside.
It's 2:14 on WTMJ. Coming up next, a mission that could send man and woman to parts of the universe and galaxy no man or woman has ever gone before. We'll update you after this.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhart.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed.
Mamma mia!
Screamin' Sicilian. So loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
It appears all the severe weather that peppered our area earlier today is out over Lake Michigan or maybe even fizzled apart. Some pretty good rain falling in Milwaukee right now. Once it clears out, it should be dry the rest of the day and into the overnight hours. But that line of storms, it kind of a narrow band, but it stretches a pretty good distance up now toward West Bend area, a little north and east of there, also stretching down toward Beloit and Janesville. So pretty good size, but it's also narrow. Once it passes through, hopefully dry conditions the rest of the day. With that, a cold front moves through. Overnight low 33, only 40 degrees your high on Wednesday with a wintry mix possible. It's 40 and rainy in Milwaukee at 217.
Another teen takeover in Milwaukee County and a new message to try to stop these. Police responded to 23rd and Burleigh last night after someone fired a gun during a teen takeover at Moody Park. It started with another social media post. So the teens promote the takeover online, then dozens of kids show up, and as we've witnessed over the last few days, fights break out. It happened last night at Moody Park, happened Sunday at Bayshore. A lot of people wondering who might be next, where might it happen next. Well, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is hoping parents will play a role in stopping these.
And so I want to urge all the parents to stay engaged in your child's life. I mean, look at their social media. Know where they are going, who they're with. I mean, talk to your kids about what they're posting and sharing online. I do that with my daughter. She's 18. I mean, spreading messages of violence can make an already dangerous situation even worse. I mean, we shouldn't allow violence to go viral in the first place. I mean, my daughter is who told me about what was happening.
So just a couple of hours ago, I noticed, because I follow 3rd Street Market Hall for many reasons, but also because it's right outside of our doors here, they had posted basically a reminder about age, safety, and conduct policies. So saying, hey, here at 3rd Street Market Hall, we are committed to keeping the Market Hall a safe and welcoming space for everyone. That's the same thing we heard from Bayshore and we hear from Mayfair, right? So the reminder went out just a couple of hours ago here. Please note, guests under the age of 18 must have a parent, teacher, or guardian with them. The Market Hall is 21 and up after 8 p.m. daily, and disruptive or unsafe behavior will not be tolerated. So I'm thinking, okay, putting this all together, do they know something, or are they just thinking, we do have a lot of teams who come here because it's a great place to have some food and to play some games? Are they just preemptively thinking, we're going to put this out there because we don't want anything to happen here? Now it sounds like they know something.
Well, 5 minutes ago, we received an email from, if you come to Good Karma Brands, our offices here, you'd walk in, you'd see Morgan. She'd be the first person to see and greet you as you walk in the door at Good Karma Brands. She sent an email as our home office administrator just moments ago, 5 minutes ago, saying we wanted to make you aware of a temporary building access update for this afternoon. In response to what you're suggesting here, Jessica, building management shared they were notified of a planned gathering of teens at 3rd Street Market Hall this afternoon. As a precaution, beginning at 3 o'clock today, so in 40 minutes, the Avenue and Plankinton building will move to fob access only at all entry points. There will also be increased on-site security presence this afternoon. And then she goes through details if we have people, guests arriving and what the protocol is for that. So it looks like they are on guard here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, preparing with extra security, fob access, just preparing for what could be hundreds of teens gathering like we have seen here in other parts of the city over the last few days.
Here's the thing. I'm hoping that the weather could put a squash to this if this is indeed going to happen, because we have seen that. All of a sudden, you get some rain, and the kids are like, man, we don't want to go out there, right? That happens. On the flip side, just as we get warm weather, and as we saw Sunday and into Monday, the warm weather hits, the kids want to be out, and that has also impacted things as well. And that's why there's concern about this summer. If this is going on now, what could happen later? It's really messed up. I mean, the social media pages where these kids are posting about the takeovers, I know one of them, at least on Instagram, promotes good vibes only. So you see it. You go on there and it'll say good vibes only, Bayshore. And then there was another post. If you can't go to Bayshore, go to Mayfair. But then It's also, at least this one that I was looking at, posting videos that go away after about 24 hours, showing the fights and kids just punching each other. And in many cases, which blows my mind too, just young ladies just taking swings. Milwaukee is not the only city dealing with this right now. Chicago also dealing with this. I saw there was a teen takeover in Hyde Park last night. And this one, I mean, I almost don't even want to say it out loud, but teens were jumping on top of cars and just leaping from one to the other, kind of like doing a run and leap, leap, leap. Police eventually got there, but not before those cars were damaged. So Milwaukee County definitely needs to get this under control before summer arrives. And yes, to the county executive's point, parents need to help.
Well, it's a spring break week for many in this area, and this is how they're choosing to enjoy their spring break, perhaps. Wish they decide to do other things, but my point is this. It might be 3rd Street Market all today. It might be another area of downtown Milwaukee tomorrow.
Totally.
And then the following day, you're at the early stages of spring break here, so the thought that this could continue is certainly not a far-fetched one. So, look, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from coming to the 3rd Street Market Hall. This is largely a very safe and inviting and welcoming place with great food options. And, you got the Bucks game later tonight. It'll be crowded for the dinner hour, you'd have to imagine. But they are issuing us just a note, just making you aware, here's what we're doing, that they are planning for 3 o'clock today for a gathering of teens here at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
And I just played a little bit of the county executive's message, but he had more, and it was pretty lengthy. And I felt like he also got real, which I did appreciate. Listen to this part.
I know what it's like to be a teenager in Milwaukee. And when I was growing up, there wasn't always a lot for us to do. I mean, we had to figure it out, find ways to connect and make something out of what we had. Whether there was probably playing tag or something, right? But I want to be honest with you and be real. I made some mistakes growing up, too. I did some things I probably shouldn't have, but nothing that landed me or my friends in the news.
Yeah, don't end up in the news or in jail or arrested. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's a smaller version of those street takeovers we saw toward the end of last summer that were kind of out of control in areas of downtown Milwaukee. And there were some rules and laws put into place there, which is good. Not sure how translatable those are, but certainly tickets have been issued when fights break out, disorderly conduct, things like that. Police will be on guard, no doubt. It's 2:23. Call it 2:24 here on WTMJ. Weather's starting to calm down a little bit. You might be experiencing some rain right now. There are some lightning sights here as well in areas, in Jefferson County or so, even extending up to Milwaukee and a little bit north to West Bend. But all the severe stuff is pretty much gone. No watches, no warnings here. Just a kind of a wet afternoon here as you get closer to your evening commute. 2:24 on WTMJ.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Horicon Bank is a bank founded by inventors and fueled by community and focused on business. They have been that way for 130 years. That is amazing. 1896 is when Horicon Bank first opened its doors in Horicon. People were going to work. People were trying to get their business off the ground, and Horicon Bank was there for the community. They still are. In fact, they're expanding operations. You've now seen Horicon Bank open branches in Wauwatosa and New Berlin and Menominee Falls and Grafton, all points in southeastern Wisconsin, with those looking for a trusted, community-minded bank to help their individual situation, their business, family members, you name it. Wonderful people at Horicon Bank. You don't get 130 years in without doing things the right way. Ask about financing requests for your business that can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and how your business works. At Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Connect with them. Together, doing good. That's the vision. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, and member FDIC.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. 20 to 30 pounds. How about a month or two? Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180. Or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Coming up on 2:30, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, March 31st. Your top story, dismissing a lawsuit on Wisconsin's congressional maps.
I'm Jessica Ty, declaring 2026 the year of housing.
Well, the weather is starting to break up a little bit. We still have some spotty showers in southeastern Wisconsin, but all the watches and warnings, those expired at 12:45 and didn't come back despite a pretty good size storm that moved through southeastern Wisconsin. But again, it's starting to fizzle out a little bit. That's good news. Overnight low 33 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Cloudy and cool on Wednesday, a high of just 40. Chance of an afternoon or evening mix of rain and snow. Windy and rain likely on Thursday with a high of 61.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. As the war with Iran drags into a new month, the Pentagon signaling that the coming days will be pivotal. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth making a surprise visit to Central Command today, visiting troops. Hegseth did not rule out U.S. troops would be on the ground, but also says U.S. strikes are devastating Iran's military and missile capabilities.
Yes, they will still shoot some missiles,
but we will shoot them down. Of note, the last 24 hours saw the lowest number of enemy missiles and drones fired by Iran.
Oil and gas prices continuing to go up, topping $4 a gallon in the U.S. Hegseth and a Pentagon spokesperson are denying reports by the Financial Times that Hegseth's broker looked into investing in defense companies ahead of the Iran war. Senate Democrats now calling for an investigation. And TSA officers starting to receive temporary paychecks and returning to the job at airport security checkpoints. But the partial government shutdown continues with Congress out for a 2-week recess. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. A 3-panel judge dismisses a lawsuit challenging Wisconsin congressional map lines as partisan gerrymandering.
The panel ruled it lacks the authority to overturn the map drawn by the Wisconsin Supreme Court in 2022. The state Supreme Court appointed 2 3-judge panels to handle separate challenges to the state's congressional map. The second panel is still considering a lawsuit that claims the map is an anti-competitive gerrymander. That suit is scheduled to go to trial next year. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson declares 2026 the year of housing.
Housing affordability, housing availability, and housing quality.
Mayor Johnson says he's shifting focus from low income to middle market housing with new special tax districts and help for future homeowners.
We anticipate helping more than 200 families realize their dream of homeownership with down payment assistance.
Johnson also hinted at lawsuits recently filed against one of the city's biggest out-of-state landlords.
Some landlords, they delay or ignore, leaving tenants in unacceptable living situations.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The man accused of stealing an ambulance while drunk and naked is found competent to stand trial.
37-year-old Benjamin Feltz of Stevens Point faces 4 felony charges, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety, after EMS workers in Wisconsin Rapids reported their ambulance stolen with a patient in the back on February 17th. Court documents showed that Feltz admitted to drinking about half a bottle of Fabuloso floor cleaner before stealing the ambulance and leading police on a high-speed chase. Feltz was removed from the ambulance completely naked. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
A canine officer finds a stolen gun in West Bend. Investigators say a 21-year-old man from West Dallas stole a gun while visiting a home near 13th and Wayne. He ran off from police and was eventually arrested. Police did find a gun on him, but it wasn't the stolen one. That's when they brought in canine officer Flash. Flash found the stolen gun hidden in a pile of leaves about 200 feet from West Bend High School. The suspect was arrested on charges of theft, carrying a concealed weapon, and being armed while intoxicated.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:33.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you're looking for power recliners or stationary seating, BY's Furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save 35% now on Bradington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers looking to bounce back after a 3-2 loss to the Rays on Monday night. Brandon Woodruff makes his season debut. He had shoulder surgery in 2023 and was shut down in September of last season.
Physically, I feel good. I was able to have a full off season. I knew it was going to take me 2 years or more to kind of feel normal again, and it truly has taken that long.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05 on WTMJ. The Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt agreed to terms on an 8-year, $50.75 million contract, according to MLB insider Bob Nightingale. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting that Doc Rivers is among the candidates to be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2026. And just 8 games remain on the Bucs' regular season schedule, including tonight against the Mavericks. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have wet roads, so heads up there. We also have some new crashes. Not for sure if it's because of the wet roads, but it definitely could be. We've got a new crash on I-94 East at Moreland Road. The right shoulder is blocked because of that crash. I'm only seeing one vehicle off to the side in that one, so doesn't look like that's a nasty crash, but it is a crash indeed. Also out in Delafield, I-94 West, about a mile beyond the ramp from County C. Left lane is blocked due to a crash there. I will say I pulled up the cameras. I cannot see that crash of these cameras, but it's possible that it is blocked by some large trees. It's kind of in that area where it goes up on the hill. So you've got a bunch of trees that are blocking a majority of that view. But I also see delays yet, so heads up there out in Delafield, I-94 West, about a mile beyond the ramp from County C. Left lane blocked due to a crash.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Rain starting to fizzle out. Should be gone from most of the area here by about 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30 or so. After that, dry conditions, but cold front means cold temperatures. Settling in tonight, a low of 33. High tomorrow, just 40 degrees. Chance for a rain-snow mix later in the day and evening. It's 41 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:38.
It's Tech Tuesday with ABC News technology reporter Mike Dubusky.
We're not sure if he will be a judge in the upcoming AI beauty pageant, but he is our guest every Tuesday on Tech Tuesday.
The latest and greatest in the world of tech.
Tesla's next product, they call it a robo-taxi. These are AR glasses. They're called simply the Frame.
On Wisconsin's Midday News.
It's Tuesday. That means a Tech Tuesday on Wisconsin's Midday News, our weekly check-in with ABC tech expert. It's Mike Dubusky. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing well. So maybe better than AI right now. A new Quinnipiac University poll released just yesterday confirms a significant disconnect here. Americans are using AI, myself included, but trusting the technology, that's a much different picture.
Yes, more people are using artificial intelligence, and seemingly fewer people are trusting the result that they're getting from this technology, guys. 76% of Americans, according to this Quinnipiac survey, say that they can trust the information generated by AI either hardly ever or only some of the time. And that also coincides with increasing amounts of concern around this technology. 62% of people say they're not so or not at all excited about AI. 80% say they're somewhat concerned about it. You put that up against the amount of people who are enthusiastic about this technology, about 35%. So there's a real imbalance there as well. But as we mentioned, more and more people are trying this technology out, integrating it into some of their everyday use cases. 51% of American adults say they use artificial intelligence to research topics that they're curious about. That is up from 37% this time last year.
So, Mike, what's the biggest breaking point issue for Americans right now? Is it misinformation? Is it privacy? Or because they think AI is going to take their job?
I think it's probably a little bit of all of those things. Quinnipiac didn't actually specifically dive into why people are feeling one way or the other about this technology, but cumulatively, these kind of topics do come up. The one thing I've been thinking about since this data came out yesterday, guys, is the term cognitive dissonance, right? This idea that what your experience of something is different from what you're being told it is. And what we've heard from kind of the leading lights in Silicon Valley, Sam Altman, Sundar Pichai, Mark Zuckerberg, is that, artificial intelligence is inevitably inevitable. It's right around the corner, and it's going to reshape everything, generally for good reasons, but also potentially for some risky ones as well. And there's a lot of internal debates between companies like OpenAI and Anthropic about how to ethically and usefully develop this artificial intelligence. But when the average person goes to a ChatGPT, there's a decent chance that the answer it's going to spit back to you is not accurate, or at least in some ways misleading. Even the most advanced models to this day, 3 years and more since the launch of ChatGPT, they still hallucinate. They still get things wrong from time to time, and I think that creates this trust problem, leading to this larger cognitive dissonance between people who are saying, well, okay, the guys who are in charge of this technology say it's so great, but my average experience is kind of lacking in some ways.
So the majority of Americans now believe AI will do more harm than good in their daily lives. I went back and looked at last year's study, and that's about an 11% jump, which tells me you might have been excited kind of about it last year and thought, well, the technology will only improve. So you'd think that number would maybe shrink going into another year of development, but it's only grown. What does that say about the technology in general and where things stand with regulations?
Yeah, really underscores an anxiety as it applies to AI potentially being used to supplant jobs. 70% of Americans say that AI advancements are likely to lead to a decrease in job opportunities. That's also an increase from last year, which the figure was around 56%. Larger shares of younger Americans, too, say that advancements in AI will decrease the number of job opportunities for people. That's compared to older Americans. So there's this anxiety among people who are either in high school, in college, about to graduate and enter the working world, thinking that, a company might not want to hire me because they can do, this entry-level position with artificial intelligence. This is something we've seen borne out in the coding space. People who, learn to code, this very, at one time, a very lucrative career path to take. A lot of entry-level coding is now done by artificial intelligence, which has, made it very difficult for, people kind of coming up in that world to gain a foothold. As it applies to regulation, which you mentioned there, 76% of Americans, according to this survey, think that businesses are not doing enough to be transparent about their use of artificial intelligence. Again, going back to this trust question, they also think, in about the same rate, 74% of Americans, they don't think the government is doing enough to regulate the use of artificial intelligence. We've seen from the Trump administration over the past year and a bit now at this point, very pro-AI, kind of statements. They've tried to make sure that AI companies are able to act freely to develop this technology at a rate that is competitive with the rest of the world, namely China. But also that kind of underscores this trust issue, guys. If you can't trust the technology, then you're unlikely to subscribe to one of these services, and that means these companies aren't going to make a profit, which again continues to be a real problem for them.
So, Mike, what's the fastest way for these AI companies to regain public trust then? Is it the regulation, or is it maybe just time? Time will get more people feeling better about this.
That's kind of the existential question facing this whole industry right now, right? Is how do we fix the trust problem? Well, for one, you could fix the hallucination problem, but I think that's maybe, making it more of a simplistic answer than it probably should be. Since ChatGPT launched, we said that it was pretty good at replicating human language. It can create, paragraphs and paragraphs of text, just basically the flip of a switch. But the output that you're actually reading there might not always be accurate. That was true in 2022. It remains true today. And that is despite a lot of the advancements that we hear in terms of model performance on these benchmark tests that come from the, Sam Altmans and the Dario Amade's of the world. So, I think it's a real perennial problem for them to fix. It comes against the backdrop of an increasing cash crunch. OpenAI says they plan to spend $600 billion before the end of the decade, and that is before anybody's really paying to use this stuff. 900 million people use ChatGPT every month, according to the company. Only 5% of them subscribe to it, right? Only 5% of them opt to pay for it. That means that they don't see enough value in paying for it, and that I think will just come with the trust, right? You need to make people trust it so that they will eventually shell out some money for it. And so far, I don't really see a clear path to them doing that.
Negative remarks on how AI will impact education, Mike. I thought that was interesting because just this month, in fact, we had somebody on about a week ago from Milwaukee School of Engineering. This is a prominent engineering school in the country located right here in Milwaukee. They just rolled out a plan to integrate AI into every single degree program, from business to computer science to nursing, you name it. If it's a degree program at MSOE, AI is involved. So they're really leaning into it. Yeah. Because we know AI is so wide-ranging. It's not about, ChatGPT telling you to put batteries on your pizza. There's so many different applications, and they're really going all in on this.
Right. I'm pretty sure it was glue on your pizza, but even still, the hallucination problem there it persists. But you're absolutely right to say that there are wide-reaching applications for this technology. I'll hit you with one more stat about the education piece of this. 64% of people said that AI will do more harm than good for education. That is up from last year by about 10%, and you compare that to the amount of people who think that AI will actually be a boon to education. Only about 27% of people said that, according to this survey. This also comes against the backdrop of a real transition point in the artificial intelligence sector. We talked last week about how OpenAI, kind of the leading company here, the maker of ChatGPT, is maybe taking a step back from more consumer-facing technologies like Sora, their video generator, which they just pulled the plug on, in favor of enterprise technologies, business applications, whether that happens in the healthcare sector, the education sector, the military sector, as opposed to something that's like an app that you download and put on your phone, right? They're not seeing this as like the next Facebook. They're seeing this as the next like Salesforce. And I think that is an important thing to keep in the back of your mind as we think about the next few years of this industry. There are a lot of applications, but are they applications that are always in front of our face? Not necessarily. They could be happening in the background, and maybe that's more of a lucrative path for these companies.
Mike, I have to share this with you because as soon as this survey and the results of it came out, I went to AI. I named mine Nova. I think I named it something else in the past. And I couldn't remember, so it
was that a
renamed
Planet
it.
of the Apes reference? Or okay.
No. But I said, how do you feel about artificial intelligence? I just thought I might get a kick out of this. So I shared this with Greg yesterday and our fans as well, but you might enjoy it too. It's a good question. Kind of funny to answer too. I don't feel things the way you do, but I can give you a grounded take based on how I see it. Artificial intelligence is basically a tool. Powerful, flexible, and a little unpredictable depending on how people use it. It can amplify good decisions, but it can also amplify bad ones, misinformation, over-reliance, cutting corners. And it said the interesting part isn't really the tech itself, it's the human layer around it. And I thought, how true does that seem?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty even-handed response from artificial intelligence. Which model were you talking to, if I can
This is just ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Basically said AI tends to reflect whoever's using it.
Yes, which I think is accurate, right? We've seen this as we talk about, things like AI psychosis, where, people go to this technology and they, pour a lot of personal information into it and they eventually build up a connection to it. The real risk there, according to people who study this type of thing, is that, this is just going to amplify kind of what you put in. It is a mirror as much as it is, an answer machine. So, that's something to keep in mind. For what it's worth, Quinnipiac also asked about AI companionship. People said about 5% of them use AI for companionship, or 15% use it for personal advice. So that's also something to keep in the back of your mind.
Nova and I aren't that tight.
That's probably I think that's reasonable.
It's getting to know you, though. It's getting to know you. That's what it's trying to do anyway. Always great information with ABC's Mike Dubusky. It's a Tech Tuesday. We appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
You can explore Wisconsin's wild places, learn about wildlife, and support conservation on the Natural Resources Foundation of Wisconsin field trips. This spring through fall, adults and families have more than 270 trips to choose from all over the state. Registration opens on April 8th at wisconservation.org. Sponsored by the Natural Resources Foundation of Wisconsin.
Well, building memories in a finished lower level. My wife and I had designs and ideas and dreams of that, and now we're able to see those dreams come to fruition. It's reality. Thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing, they did an unbelievable job from start to finish with our lower level. Used to just be a basement, had a treadmill in the corner, kind of an area for the kids to blow off steam. We stored extra paper towel and canned goods. You know what I'm talking about. Well, now it's much different. We've got a dedicated workout space. We've got an extra bedroom when we have guests over, a full bathroom down there, great place to watch movies or the game, and a fun communal area where we play cards and games. We all spend time together in our basement. Building memories thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. If you've been looking at that lower level thinking, we can do better than this, have Matrix come out for a free design consultation. No obligation. They come to your house. You walk through the space together. Some designs, some ideas are brought to life. And if you want to move on with the project, those details are brought to another level of detail with their CAD rendering. Get an idea for what that space will look like, and then pick out your finished selections at your kitchen table. It's Matrix Basement Finishing. They come to you, and they only do basements. They're not trying to finish a subdivision or a house or anything like that. Basements is their singular focus. About 11 weeks, start to finish, for our project, and that was a good-sized project. They got it done before Christmas Eve, as promised. Got to follow that schedule on the Builder Trend Organizer. I knew who was coming to the house and when. It was Matrix Basement Finishing from start to finish. MatrixBasements.com is where you need to go. Begin the process there. Check out all their 5-star reviews on Google. And book now. No payments until 2028. Let me personally connect you with Matrix Basement Finishing.
Before I moved to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now, when she comes over, we go to concerts, enjoy delicious meals, and participate in great activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be about fun, not fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again. Get started today at CapriCommunities.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. You can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, rain's starting to work its way out of the area right now. No more severe weather potential. No more watches, no more warnings, anything like that. Should be dry the rest of the night once that rain passes through. Going to be cold, however, low of 33. Tomorrow's high just 40 degrees. Chance of a rain-snow mix at night. It's 40 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:53. There's about a minute or so left here on the program. Excited about this. T-minus about a day until the launch window for NASA's Artemis 2 mission. They're attempting to orbit the moon and get further away from Earth than anyone has ever done before. It's a group of 4 astronauts that are hopefully going to embark on this mission. Of course, they put windows for this kind of stuff, and you look at the probabilities, it looks like about an 80% chance of this thing getting off within its window of time and traveling 250,000 miles away from the Earth's surface.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wouldn't you like that window be 100%?
I feel like it's, I don't know if I'd have a sense of dissatisfaction for orbiting the moon and not like landing on it. Like, hey, can we do a little pit stop over here?
Oh,
like,
really?
You just want to hang out?
I might just like to orbit and like see it first. Then maybe the next time you go up, you're like, okay, now I'm feeling like I can get out and walk on it. Like baby steps.
And this is like Apollo 13 kind of stuff. In fact, Apollo 13 was previously, provided that Artemis 2 gets to its destination, the aircraft or spacecraft that went furthest away from the Earth's surface. Imagine that view looking back. And at what point does it
Just
become
incredible.
even more close and into view? It's a 4-person crew. They've done the quarantining. They are ready to go. They just need the weather to cooperate, and this thing will take off sometime tomorrow.
Hey, real quick, I just want to mention before we go, we were talking about these team takeovers and the possibility of there being another one. And Security is being enhanced right outside our doors here at 3rd Street Market Hall. And if you're a parent right now who knows your child is headed somewhere for the next teen takeover, just say something, because I look out here right now and I just took a peek to see what was happening. We don't have a lot of people around right now at the Market Hall, but I do see like a dad and his daughter right now. They're from out of town. They've got White Sox jerseys on. The daughter's playing one of those games where you reach down with the claw and you try to, oh, can I get that toy? Can I get that toy? They're having a fun time, right? They're from out of town. They probably have no idea that anything like this is even possible right now. And we just don't want Milwaukee to become a place where these are happening day after day. You have one on Sunday at Bayshore. You have one last night in Moody Park, maybe another one today, and who knows what the summer brings. Let's just try to nip this in the bud now.
2:56 in WTMJ. We are out of time. Wisconsin's afternoon news begins in a few minutes.
Good